Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Law and Order tried to do you dirty, Donnell.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that, man. Don't start with that. Birds flying high. You know how I feel.
They tried to do you
Breeze
dirty.
drifting on by. You know how I feel.
They tried to
It's a
set
new
you
day.
up.
It's a new dawn.
They tried to label
It's
you.
a new life for me, and I'm feeling good, Joe.
You look good.
Thank
you look
you.
real good. Where'd you get that suit? Who made that suit for you?
La Catino out of Brooklyn is some Korean tailors that I've been working with for the last 2 years.
Nice.
And they trying to make me go from ashy to classy, and it's a new day.
I think it looks
And
great.
another thing you don't notice about this suit, Joe, I smell as good as this suit looks.
Okay. What are you
And
using for smell?
What is it called? Portrait of a Lady.
Oh.
It's an Arabic company. That's all I know. And I got a guy that outsources my colognes and
What do you
shit. and he
do?
got
Like a
this.
little here, and a little on the wrists? How you do it?
I
Do you
smoke.
spray it and walk through it?
That's good. I spray it, walk through it, and then I do that in an annoying amount. Like, okay, we get it. You got some nice cologne on right now. But it's good to be here.
There's something nice about a nice suit, man. It does make you look
It makes you work on your posture.
professional.
And one thing I did, another thing that I came here today, and it was my intent, Joe, to break all the stereotypes. So I got here 20 minutes earlier than I was supposed to be here. You came 20 minutes late. You enforced the stereotypes. And I wore a suit without a court date, without a funeral, and without a marriage proceeding. So this is the whole thing of Donnell in a new day and changing his life. I'm going through a transition.
What motivated this? Law and Order?
No. Law and Order didn't. Law and Order didn't motivate this. Law and Order. First off, Law and Order is one of the most respected franchises in the history of
It's been
television.
around a long time.
Shout out to
Shout out
Arthur
to Ice-T.
Formey. Shout out to Dick Wolf, and shout out to everybody that's a part of that. And they say in New York, they say that you can't call yourself an actor in New York unless you've been in Law and Order. That's how
That
many-
makes sense.
It makes so many.
I mean,
so many.
how many versions do they have?
I've been in every. When I first began my career, people really thought I was a dramatic actor more than a comic. I was booking a lot of stuff. I've been on every one of the not episodes of shows, and out of them, I think 80% of them, I was arrested. And I was like, wait a minute, am I getting typecast? Every time I was able to like action, I'm like this. And what'd I do? What'd I do this time? Every one of them, I got arrested for something.
How many of them are there? How many Law and Orders are there, Jamie?
Intent, special victims.
Special Victims. I'm going to guess. I'm going to say 5. 5 different Law and Orders.
Homicide was technically part of it too.
Okay.
Oh, maybe no. This is related. Never mind. Hold on. You got Law and Order, Special Victims Unit,
2.
Organized Crime,
3.
Adapted Series, Law and Order Toronto,
4.
Criminal Intent, Law and
SUV,
Order
is that
Criminal
one?
Intent,
5.
Trial by Jury,
6.
L.A.,
7.
True Crime,
8.
Hate Crimes. Oh, this is in development. Hate Crimes for the defense.
They're gonna have a whole show dedicated to hate crimes.
But that
Oh, my
brand is
God.
like, and I don't think those guys, I mean, Dick Wolf and Arthur Formey, I did it years ago. When I first did it, Arthur Formey was the director when I did it. And that was like in 2000. And then recently,
People love to watch those shows where they get the bad guy.
yeah.
You have to catch the bad guy.
And you have to have a bad guy. I think
gotta
that's
have a bad guy, and you got to catch him.
But everybody is more interested in the bad guy more than anything. That's in life general.
Yeah.
That's why you find so many people that necessarily don't have a lot of talent, but they subscribe to the bad guy side of it and want to be negative, and then everybody draws to that. The bad guy is winning like a motherfucker. The bad guy is winning.
In what way?
Yes.
In what way? What do you mean?
I'll just say like this, and I'm not being specific to anybody in general. Even in the world of podcasts right now, right? The model for a lot of people now is like, say some outlandish shit, say some shit that's going to piss somebody off, say some shit that's going to make people hate you, and now you have a platform, and you have a successful platform because at the end of the day, with this, it's all about engagement. It's all about, can you get people to engage? And at the end of the day, if you can do that, whether people like you or not, you win.
Sorta. But I think people get tired of that. They get tired of conflict. If your whole business is conflict, people don't want to be in conflict all the time. And they realize that a lot of conflict is unnecessary. And if you're the type of person that likes to talk about conflict constantly and talk about it online, you probably also are willingly participating in it, maybe a little too willingly. Like maybe you're getting, you know, you're creating problems in your own life, even as you get attention. Like, be careful what you wish for, because if you're known for just talking shit about people, and then you become successful, then people are going to talk shit about you. They're all going to come after you.
But the people that like that, they don't have a conscience to even care about that.
Yeah, but everybody has a conscience. I just think we accept a certain amount of bullshit. We accept it, and I think you should just concentrate on doing whatever the fuck you do well. You don't have to just say outlandish shit and be so negative. I just don't think it's necessary.
You don't, but you are living in a different world than Black Twitter.
It does work. It gets people attention.
The people you're speaking to, yes. But Black Twitter,
I get it.
And on these urban sites,
yeah,
you could be negative for years and years and years and years and years and years, and a motherfucker will come up. And that's the truth. You are around a world of, oh, he's a jolly good fellow. But in that dark world, in that Black Twitter world, it's a lot of negativity. And it's very unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. That's a very unfortunate thing. I don't enjoy that. I get
Black Twitter?
No, insulting people, getting mad at people. At a certain point in your life, I realized that there's no room for that in life. You don't have to. You can avoid it for the most part. If you could avoid it in your immediate life, you could probably avoid it in your internet life too.
I think you avoid that conflict and negative energy the more successful you become, because I think that creates a I don't give a fuck about bullshit attitude. I think that a lot of the anger and a lot of frustration that comes with a lot of people is the beginning of the stage. It's the beginning stages. But when you get, like we were talking about it earlier, damn it, fuck, you gave me that joint too quick. You gave me that motherfucking joint too quick. We were talking, this is a bad one. Because I tried to get that pause to get my thought back. I don't know what the fuck you just gave me, but it just erased everything I was just thinking about.
You were talking about as you get successful, it's easier to avoid conflict, which I probably agree with. Also, you're comfortable enough where you could recognize the patterns that are beneficial and not beneficial to you in your life. And conflict is never beneficial to me. Like, even conflict that I've engaged in that's been your necessary.
That's been your entire, not even as a fucking young Joe Rogan, you didn't have the energy like, fuck this or fuck that motherfucker, I don't give a fuck. You always been this calm. You've always been this collected and this calm your entire career.
No, definitely not.
So that goes to my point.
Yeah, but I learned how to do it. Because I realized, you know what happened once, man? What? This is a true story. I was watching this dude on stage, and I was hoping that he was bombing. I was hoping he would bomb because he went on after me. I didn't want him to do well. And I realized, I go, what a bitch-ass way to think that is. To want someone to not do well. I was 21. And I'll never forget it.
But that's the age, though, Joe.
Yeah.
That's the age when you like, fuck it, that's it, night-night.
Well, at that age, everyone is so ambitious and competitive that was getting into comedy at that time that it was like, it wasn't very, there wasn't a lot of camaraderie between like the open micers because everybody was like super desperate. Like you remember the desperate days where you weren't sure if you were ever going to be a professional? Like there's desperate days.
I never felt that way.
Never?
I'm telling you, it's not being cocky or whatever you want to say. I never felt that way. Like
Back to open mics?
The first open mic I ever did, I got a standing ovation.
That's insane.
I got a standing ovation. I think it wasn't a standing ovation because I had the best material. I was the funniest. But earlier on, I used to go to the comedy clubs and fuck with comedians, right? And I probably shared this. I used to heckle comedians, and people started coming to the show to see me heckle. So it was a thing. This is why when people say I'm an interrupter, I've been an interrupter. I've been interrupting before I even got on stage.
That's hilarious.
And
how old?
I had to be like 21 or 22.
Perfect.
And the thing was, it was started to build. People started getting excited for me. They knew that I was the guy in the audience that was funny. But it was like some people in clubs that hang around, you'd be like, man, he should do it. You know what I mean? Or like one day he should try it. So I ruined all other comedians' careers or whatever. You know, I just destroy them. They used to come up to me and be like, could you not fuck with me? I'm working on some new material. I'm like, it's my job to heckle you, and it's your job to try to be funny.
You were a professional heckler?
I was a professional heckler.
That is so insane.
So much that, and I drew. I was drawing the audience.
That's so, how does this happen?
It just happened. And then eventually the club wanted me to shut the fuck up. Right? They was like, we'll shut his ass up if he go on stage. And then the audience, people really started coming to see me talk shit. And I think the first night I went on, I think it was the build up, like something people felt like this dude is gone. They felt like I was working for Safeway as a security guard in a grocery store. And the first time I went on stage, all the people that for my job used to come, they all looked at me like he's about to quit or get fired. You know, it was just something that by chance, I never thought about doing comedy. I used to go there because I got free promotional tickets. I never was the guy when I was younger at 13. When I first looked into the mirror, I knew that comedy is what I wanted to do. It was never that. It just so happened, being in that situation, I went up, I ripped it, and when I ripped it, the first time I went on stage, I knew, I was like, this is what I will be doing for the rest of my life. And I didn't say it and with that thought, Joe, I didn't feel like, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be famous, I'm going to have a TV show. For the first time I went on the stage, only thing I want to do is be good. That's almost to this point in my career now. I'm like, if you good, and this applies to anything in life, if you good at something and you're really good at it and you're passionate about it and you study it and you just live by that, eventually you're going to get the rewards of that. I never was like, I'm going to get a TV show. I was just like, man, if I'm good, I'm going to be able to work this club. If I'm good, I'll be able to work this club. And then things just start happening for me. So I think when I first started, my friends and family, they was really, really rooting for me to do it. And the moment I went on stage, I was like, this is what I will be doing for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And never thinking about it's going to make me rich or anything.
Do you ever feel guilty that you started off as a heckler now that you're a comedian?
No. No. Yo, Joe, I gotta be honest, man, Joe. I gotta be honest. I like heckling motherfuckers, Joe. I'm a natural born heckler. I like that. In DC, we call it joning, right? Joning. That's
why did it be called joning?
I don't know why they called it joning, but it was just roasting. It was the black way of saying if you want to compare, it was like roasting.
What an interesting word, joning. Like,
joning.
Why did they come up with that? Do you think that was like a person who was like really good at it?
I don't know if it was a dude named Joan. I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know the history. A lot of black words I'm not going to know the history of it. You might want to Google.
Have you ever heard that, Jamie? Jonan?
Urban Dictionary. Do you ever use that as a resource, Jamie? Yeah, go for it. Urban Dictionary has saved a lot of white people at cookouts and barbecues. Yeah, but I'm like, I used to love heckling. I didn't know you couldn't heckle until in comedy there's an unwritten rule. It was like, you can't. The rule is you can't
jonin.
Heckle.
Put down or make fun of someone.
Yep.
Quit joning on me. You'll get smacked. I wonder who Joan was.
Joan
think it was a lady?
Joan? No, I don't think.
You think that's it?
I know this fool ain't joning.
On whoa, let me get
Joke?
that part, Joe. Let me get the rest.
Get the rest.
Take that.
Let me say, I'll take the second half. You get the first half, I get the second.
Does that
Does that make sense?
Doesn't.
That's all right. It just could be someone just joke like.
There's probably just
guessing.
someone named Joan
To
that was really
joke.
good at insulting people.
No. I understand that sentence. Where I came from, that's what it was. The joke on the nigga. That's what it was. Urban Dictionary nailed it. That's what it was. But it wasn't like scripted. It wasn't like you had writers or anything like that.
Right.
It was just you.
In the moment.
In the moment, you
Yeah.
look at that person up and down and you just go for it. And I used to Joan motherfuckers out. And then the rule was in comedy, you're not supposed to yell out. In comedy, you're not supposed to Joan or say anything to another comic, which I fucking hate this rule.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
people don't like to be interrupted, Donnell.
I know, but don't.
Not
have you
everybody
ever-
likes to do it your way.
All right, but Joe, have you ever felt, and you have discipline, you've been watching a motherfucker, and you just like, I just want to say something. You never felt like,
Yes.
I just want to say,
Yeah.
I don't want to wait till you get off stage. I want to just say something in that moment.
Especially if you've had a drink.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been in that
If you've
situation.
had a drink and you're like, this is nonsense.
You would just want to yell out.
Yeah.
And it's not to be like nasty or nothing. You just can't help it anymore. You just feel like you got to say something. It's so funny. So years ago, me and Tracy Morgan was at a show, and me and Tracy Morgan started comedy about the same time. And he was like, man, I'm sick of these whack motherfuckers, man. He said, I just want to say something. I said, but you can't heckle the comedians. He said, we should do a tour, right? Go all across the country to comedy clubs, not to perform, just to heckle motherfuckers from the seats, which I thought was a fucking brilliant idea. That would be so. You talk about something that builds character.
It's almost like a roast battle. Could you imagine putting mediocre comedians on stage and having like great comics in the audience heckle them?
Yep. You know what?
That would be terrifying.
It'll be terrifying. But guess what? I guarantee you, Joe, if you had 20 mediocre comedians, one or two would stand out as
Yes.
the one that would break away.
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
you did something like that, that's what you would be looking for.
Right.
Somebody's going to say, fuck it.
It's going to be a Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Right, so you'll recognize like real early on what of your material's soft, what of it's what out of your material's bullshit. If you ever
Yeah.
do it in front of people that you respect,
It's going to make you step
Yeah.
your shit up. Or it's going to
Right.
make you have enough attitude and personality to pull any joke off. Because you know what it is. Half the shit that you deliver, for the most part, is stage presence.
yeah,
It's stage presence. It's how you respond, how do you react to an audience coming at you.
dude. Dave Attell was at the Mothership this weekend, and I
love
him.
Dave.
I saw him Sunday night. Man, I don't know if there's a funnier person that's ever existed.
You know what?
He's so funny.
Whenever I see his face, first off, if you see Dave Attell's face now, you saw it 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Yo, he's like the white Morgan Freeman
He's the same
of
face.
comedy. Like, he's been how he looks forever with
Yeah.
a different color black hoodie on.
yeah,
And it's so funny you mention his name because something came on my thread like a day ago. And Dave Attell's like the type of guy, not even hearing what he said, you look at him, you say, I said, I need to write more jokes. You're
Yeah.
like somebody, their mere presence lets you know you got to write more jokes. Because out of all the years, and I've watched Dave Attell 30 years, I can't remember a time when he hasn't went on stage with the mindset, I'm working on some new shit.
always.
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 Always. And you're like, how the fuck can he keep
That's what he
doing
does.
this?
He's just like really focused on that one thing. You know, he used to be an alcoholic, and when he quit
Haven't
drinking,
we all?
he got way better when he quit drinking, man. You know, like there's something happened to him. Some comics, there's something that happens. They're drunks when they're young, and then they quit drinking, and they're not as good anymore because they're not as fun. Because when they were drunk, they were wild.
I've figured out a way to balance both.
You
Young
definitely
drunk
can.
and older drunk.
What I was going to say is that Attell's the best example because what he did was he quit drinking and then immediately got way better and just keeps getting better. Like all that focus is now just on stand-up.
I
And
get it. I
fuck,
think about that sometimes.
dude, he was so good. It was mind-blowing. He was just on fire. He has a recorder. He plays like a little flute.
I saw that. That's the clip that came up. And I just thought the one part I remember, he said, you have this instrument, and he said, you have the head, the shaft, and the taint. He'd say he was referenced the flute or whatever it was. Of course, it was a penis, but I was like, that was just, fuck, he's nice as shit at it.
He's got like a formula in his mind of how to make fun of everything. And he's so in tune right now that he can just kind of plug it into any subject, and he just starts writing material. And
But
he's always working on it.
But he's not a fun guy to hang out with.
He's fun to hang out with.
What?
I like hanging out
I
with
get
him.
nervous. I feel like he's about to be on Law and Order or something. When I hang out with Dave, Dave will be talking to you, then all of a sudden he just disappeared. But maybe it's just me. But yeah, he's not the party guy.
He was fun hanging out at the mothership.
Yeah.
It was like, because we have like the green room. It's
green
like
room
a
is
nice, relaxing place where everybody can hang out together. But he's an odd guy. He carries around a flip phone. He texts you with like where you press 4 R's to get a
Right. Oh, he's still on the old school text?
Yeah, you got to press it 5 times to get an ass or whatever it is. You remember those?
I remember those. And
He does that. That's how he sends you a text message.
That's
He's doing that with a flip phone.
But that has kept him off of Diddy's yacht.
Yeah.
Not being connected. Not being connected with too much communication keeps you out of those back rooms and keep you off those yachts.
That's hilarious.
You don't invite a person to the back room or to a yacht if he has that phone.
Yeah.
Something is very suspicious about that. You don't get invited to those parties that get you movie deals.
Oh. That's just how they used to do Hollywood, man.
Old Hollywood's the shit.
Old Hollywood, that is exactly how they did everything. Tarantino was telling us that one of the old producers had a bedroom in his office. So he had his office, and then you go into his office, and he had a bedroom. And the bedroom is where he would fuck all the starlets. And so he was the producer, and if you're going to be in his movie, he's going to fuck you.
That's old school.
A bedroom.
Do you know how
in his office.
You know how many women sitting there listening to us saying, bring back the good old days? I do know you have some women like this. Fuck that, I don't believe it. But you do still have a couple of women like, I don't want to go to acting school. I don't want to study. I don't want to do anything. I want to get it popping.
Well, it seems like there was a real look, no disrespect to actors, but there's a lot of them. And there's a lot of them that probably never make it, that if they got the right breaks, they could have been as huge as some movie stars that exist today, right? Wouldn't we agree on that?
I agree with that with acting and with stand-up.
Yeah, but it's specifically for acting, because there's a lot of people that can just go into acting. Like a lot of athletes have gone into acting and done amazing jobs.
But too many of them are good, though.
But not...
You
but
still see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay. Who was in that Adam Sandler movie with basketball player?
Rick Fox? I know Rick Fox was taking it really, really serious.
Kevin Garnett, that's right. He's in that Uncut Gems movie, and he's fucking great. He's not an actor. It wouldn't work the other way. You couldn't get a guy to do just stand-up and just be fucking great.
Right.
Who's never done stand-up.
True.
But you can get an actor out of a basketball player. You could turn a fucking rancher into an actor.
Right.
You just teach him how to do. Some guys can do it.
What role did he play?
He played a basketball player.
Come on, motherfucker.
But he played a dude who was ripping off Adam Sandler.
Did you hear what the fuck you just said?
But he played a dude who was ripping off Adam Sandler.
It doesn't matter, Joe.
I get that.
I thought you was going to say he played a rocket scientist.
I'm just
saying. So you're telling me, Joe,
when he was going through, when he was doing his lines to Adam Sandler, it's very realistic.
That he's a basketball player.
That he's not just a basketball player, he's a basketball player that's ripping off Adam Sandler. He steals a rock from him. He doesn't want to give a rock back.
There's no way that Kevin Garnett could have fucking ruined this role. Even Joe, listen to me.
Are you hating?
I'm not hating. What I'm trying to explain.
I feel like he's hating.
No, I'm not. Don't start it, man. Black Twitter will come for me. I'm not saying that. There is no way he could have been bad playing a basketball player.
He was good, dude. It's a good
Okay, all right,
scene.
let me see. Okay, let me see.
I'm watching this. And
Yeah, we can't watch
I
this.
know, just
We'll
fuck
get
watching
get
it.
in trouble.
All right, you can't watch
Cut
it,
that
but
out.
I just want to see him stand up.
Listen,
Because right there, I can see the dramatic side you're saying, but when he stands up, he's playing a basketball player.
he is, but I'm telling you, it's not about that. It's about gambling addicts. The whole
Okay.
thing's about gambling addicts. The whole movie's about gambling addicts. It's a fucking amazing movie.
Right. I mean, I'm
And
not
it's-
even seeing the dialogue. I mean, hearing it or anything. I could see like his face looks convincing, but I still see a Kevin Garnett basketball player. It's just tough.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but he's
And is that a
it's-
Celtic? And it's a basketball ring.
Yeah.
Joe, he played a
Yeah.
basketball player. Joe.
Yeah,
played
but
himself.
he played himself in this movie. He's doing this thing where he's involved in gambling addiction. They're all just making crazy bets. Dude, the movie will give you anxiety.
I'll check it out.
Like real anxiety. Like, oh, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it.
So he was, and Kevin Garnett's is a good guy. I wasn't trying to shit on him, but
I know you weren't. I know you weren't. What I'm saying is that, like,
Because the minute you start, Joe, you say, "Why are you hating?" The next thing you know, I'm being attacked by every urban blog in the country. Joe Rogan was hating on Kevin Garnett, said the nigga shouldn't act; he should just play basketball.
that was certainly not my words.
I know it's not your words, but it was the passion of my words,
Yeah, even
and that's how it starts.
even that's not what you really meant. But it's what I'm saying is, like, I think out of all the things, acting is probably, even though some people are ingenious at it, don't get me wrong, the most doable to a person. Like, that's the most, I mean, you're most likely to be able to figure out how to do it. Like, you might not ever be able to figure out how to sing.
Right.
You know, you might not ever be able to figure out how to do stand-up, but you could probably figure out how to act.
Yeah, I would
It's
technically
just pretend.
and then you could get trained.
Yeah.
But I still think it's something inside of you as an actor that takes you above the person, just like equally trained.
Yeah.
There's something that drives you to want to do something different and make different choices as an actor.
Yeah, it's called being mentally ill.
Yep, and you're absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Most actors have some type of mental disorder. To think about it, it's like you're playing make believe.
All the time, professionally.
All the time.
And then if you get really famous for playing make-believe, at a certain point in time, you're probably like, who the fuck am I? Who actually am I?
Or who do I want to be?
Yeah, I mean, but you think you are this person because you are getting all this adoration from all these people that see you play different people in movies. Like, they don't even know you.
Right.
And then you're like, what the fuck? Like, how weird is this world that I've created where everybody loves me and they like me to pretend to be different people? Like, who the fuck am I?
But at the same time, you can give whoever you want to be that day. I think we fucking, when we wake up in the morning, we get in acting mode. You go to bed, you fucked up about something, and you wake up in the morning, you're like, you know what? Fuck that bitch. I'm going to have a great day. You're acting like you're not dealing with what you did the day before. I think that's a part of our life. And I know this is a crazy question. You've heard it before. And it's like a generic question when you have a comedian that's done some acting stuff. Is it more challenging for you acting or more challenging as a stand-up developing new material?
Well, it depends on what you would be doing for acting. Like, I've never done a real dramatic movie or a dramatic role in a TV show. Everything I've ever done has just been silly. So that's a different kind of acting. Like, comic acting is, it's basically like scripted shit talking.
Yeah, but at some point, even with acting, there's a moment. This is the scariest part for me. I can go in front of 25,000 and thank you. You created platforms where I could do that many people. I can go in front of 25,000 people and I can hear, and it feels amazing.
Yeah.
But it's the silence of when there's like 150 people behind the camera that relying on what you do right now, and that silence, quiet, when everybody's completely focused on that one person, one that got to deliver that line, and then action, that shit is terrifying. That shit is fucking, I'm telling you, I've done shows with you and Dave where you guys created platforms to come out in the arena like I'm about to beat the fucking world up. But the minute you say quiet, and you like, and
Action.
Yeah. And then you got to go.
And you got to really rehearse that thing. Really know what you're saying while you're saying it, because you have to repeat these words in that order. You're not freestyling.
You said earlier all the acting stuff, you've been silly stuff. I think maybe first 4 or 5 years of my career, everything I booked was dramatic. Nobody thought I was a comedian, or if you want to say a comedian, acting to the Chappelle show. I had did like all of the Law and Orders. I had did HBO's The Corner, where I played a heroin addict. I think this was like the third audition I ever went on. David Simon, Alex Foley. She's a big time. Foley. It's been a long time since I've been in New York, so I might be saying her last name. But she casts all at The Wire, Sopranos, all that stuff. I went into an interview. I went into an audition for The Wire. This was Jackie Brown Carmen. Alex was when we did when we went back and did The Corner, The Wire. But for The Corner, it was Jackie Brown Carmen. I went in for this audition. The audition was as a heroin addict, right? Charles Dutton directed this series. It won three Emmys. I played the character brilliant. That's my friend Clark Peters. He's an incredible fucking theater actor. Came from the theater background. So I'm doing audition, Joe. This out, and I'm green as shit in audition, and I'm like, man, I'm fucking this shit up, man. I ain't gonna get this shit. Jackie Brown Carmen said, Donnell, relax, be calm. God is in the room. You'll be okay. And I fuck with God, but I didn't know if God goes to auditions with you or not, and how much it would help, right? And I did my lines again, and I still thought I fumbled it. I was like, man, I understand her support or whatever. I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I just started saying anything, right? 4 days later, I swear, sometimes you do an audition, you kind of feel when you're going to at least get a call back.
Right.
They get a call, they said, you booked it. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I could not believe it. I was like, I don't know how the fuck that happened. I was like, I know I wasn't prepared. I was just saying anything, and I wanted to get the fuck out of here and just go run right back to the stage. Fuck acting. I want to work on my jokes. So we get on set, David Simon. He was the original writer of the book, The Corner, with another police officer. He did police journalism in Baltimore. So I saw him on set, and I was like, I got a question. He was like, man, thanks for being part of it. I was like, I got a question. I just had to know, right? I said, how the fuck did I get this role? Right? I'm already booked. I said, I swear, I thought I bombed that audition. And he said, Donnell, we like the way you threw the lines away, right? Oh. So if you mean not prepared, he said, we like the fact that you threw the lines away. And he said, another thing, you didn't feed into the stereotype of the guy's addiction. Because everybody that was going in there was just going straight to the lean of the addiction, the worst part of it, being high. In audition, they didn't want to see that. They want to see who is this person not being high. And because I was off, and because I said, fuck it, I'm going to just say it my way, that's what fucking got me to roll on that shit.
Well, that's probably the hardest thing to do, is to just say, just a free ball and be in just say, I don't even remember the lines, but this is what I would fucking say. Like, if you do that.
But some platforms, they will allow that. Then you get sticklers. Like when you start talking about HBO and those guys, it's like they want you to say every word that was on that fucking paper.
Yeah, but they also want someone who really sounds like they can say those words.
Agreed.
There's things that a person has, like a type of charisma that a person has, like a person like yourself, that like you either have that or you don't. And if you have it and you can deliver it in some form, some way, you could be coached.
Right.
Someone can figure out how, I'll help you memorize the lines. We'll work through them together. We'll go over things. But in the end, it's you. It's
got you right.
You got to go be you. But not everybody can even pretend to be you.
Everybody
But,
don't, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And everybody don't have the heart to take those chances because that's the
Exactly.
way. And I've never been trained, but one thing it's always resonated when you talk about acting is like make a decision, right, and let them bring you back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's better to go all out than to not do it and not. When I was doing HBO's The Wire, there was one scene when I get pulled over in the car, and I got like $30,000 of people don't know if it's drug money, political money, or whatever, and I get arrested for it. And then the next scene, some kind of way, they have to let me go with the money. Basically, I came in with $30,000, and I'm leaving with $30,000. And I just said, I'm going to do a little improv, right? So they was like, cut, action. And when I left out the room, I threw the money over the back of my shoulder, and I said, some people got to have it. Some people really don't let money change. And then I looked back at the cop and I said, oh, mighty dollar. Everybody laughed, but they was like, nah, we ain't going to be able to use that shit. Bring it down. But it's like making, like, at least they knew that I would take the chance.
You'll free
some
ball.
People,
yeah. You'll be loose. And that's the thing. It's like some people just can't be loose. They just can't figure that thing out to be
Right.
free. They're just always in their own way.
But I think for me, even with acting that's made it like fun, the times I get it, is that I've made enough success in comedy and created a pretty good lifestyle off of that I don't have that pressure of having to book a role.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of actors now, it's like if they gotta get this series, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just to continue the lifestyle they have. So it's for me, acting's always been like, oh, I'm just playing around. It's fun. I mean,
Right.
You know, get it?
That's the
comes and
best
goes.
way to do it.
Yep.
Especially if if your stand up is going well, like everything just sort of can be fine. You don't really care if you're doing a movie here or there. But if you were only doing movies, like those folks during the pandemic that kind of just went back to acting,
Right.
because a few comics
I
that
was sick
just
during the
stopped.
pandemic. I was so happy that shit was over because I got sick of these writers that we never heard about doing spots. They was like, this guy wrote for Family Guy. You're like, where the fuck you been? You ain't been in the trenches.
No, bro,
like
there's
that.
people that realize they have fucking mortgages.
Yeah.
That's what happens. And then they realize, oh my God, I'm so connected to the TV system that if it goes down because of the pandemic or another pandemic,
Right.
I don't work for a year and a half. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think that made people have to figure out what their pivot was.
Yeah, well, you can't rely too much on a system that doesn't give a fuck about you, and a system that if you're paying attention to where it's going, a large amount of it is about to get sucked up by AI, like a giant chunk.
Of the entertainment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
A
think
giant chunk.
Tyler Perry, it was a story maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I think he was in the middle of either producing a movie or doing something. And
He was building an $800 million studio, and he paused the construction as soon as he saw, what is it called? Sora? Sora.
It can create entire scenes.
Entire scenes. Entire scenes that look realistic. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Watch this.
Video came out yesterday, I think. This is like a balloon head guy. It's like a short film. All these scenes supposedly, I guess, are made by Sora.
So this is all AI.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's over.
They say everyone has something unique about them.
I don't know about the audio. That
Sets
could be
them
done
apart.
afterwards.
It's just in my case, it's quite obvious what that thing is. I am literally filled with hot air. Yeah, living like this has its challenges. Windy days, for one, are particularly troublesome. Well, there was the one time my girlfriend insisted I go to the cactus store to get my Uncle Jerry a wedding present.
This is crazy.
What do I love most about my predicament?
Yeah, it's pretty well made. I don't know if we can...
And that's somebody just putting in the information and that's
Yes.
being created.
Yeah.
The New World Entertainment, Joe, this is what my prediction is.
This is such a leap. That
This
is
is-
such a leap above everything
Now
else.
you add that to this. This is what's going to happen eventually. And this is not the right thing to say, especially about Hollywood. The idea of agencies, the idea of A&R, all of those jobs are about to be gone. And the only thing you're going to have is content creators. And the content creators are going to cut the middleman of the agency out, and they're going to go straight to the advertisers and the people that pay the money. You having to be connected with a certain entity or a certain agency, and they probably kill me after this, Joe. This makes me Illuminati right now.
Jeez.
They gonna kill me, Joe. Cat Williams and everybody coming for my neck. I'm telling you, it's gonna come where all of those things that you needed to make it aren't gonna exist anymore, and we're close to that right now.
Well, we already lost sitcoms. So sitcoms were number one.
Right.
That was like a number one job for a comedian. You get your own show.
Yeah,
right?
that was the only job you wanted.
That was
right.
the job that everybody wanted. And then they had comedy movies. Well, comedy movies have been drastically reduced. So the sitcom's gone, and then the comedy movies have drastically been reduced.
But what did most people want that for, Joe? What did the comedians wanted that for? Two things: money and fame.
Yeah, because there was no
the
social media and there was no YouTube, and so ticket sales were really dependent upon you being on a television show.
100%.
Yeah, it was a big factor.
And this is why you probably heard this, and it's a conversation when it comes to, especially when it comes to comedy. You got the YouTube comedians, you got the social media comedians. Like, comedy now is broken down into so many definitions of what comedy is now. When we first started, there was only one definition. The minute you heard someone say comedian, it was nothing but a guy who grabs a mic, stands flat-footed, and entertains the audience. It wasn't a comedian on boats. It wasn't that. When you said comedian, you just associated
comedian
with...
on boats?
You know, I mean, just like, no disrespect to the
You
cruise
mean
guys.
Cruise guys? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they find their lane and they love it.
Bro, but that's a tough life, man.
You know?
That's a tough life.
That's a tough life.
Trapped on that boat telling them some fucking jokes.
But then some people got mouths to feed. Some people
That is-
like this.
that is
they look
what
at
it is.
They look at the level of competition. They look at this. They be like this. You know what? And those guys, it's six figures.
Yeah, they
You know
make
what I'm saying?
6 figures.
Oh yeah. They do. Most of the guys that do it, they get to a point.
I've talked to guys that didn't like doing it.
Yeah, but
They're like, it's kind of depressing for some reason.
your first year or so, it's probably not, especially if you're doing like $30 spots in Brooklyn here. Like that was a come up when I started. When I started, it's like, oh, you on cruise ships? I mean,
Really?
oh yeah, it was because we didn't really have a lot to look up to other than just making money off of it, you know. So it was a regular job in stand-up comedy. But the point I was making about, even with that, the different definition of comedian and people, and they break like all the old heads have a way of thinking. Yeah, this and that. The thing that you have to credit is the work ethics you have to get to a certain level. As if you want to say a social media comedian, it's a certain level, it's a certain work ethics you have to be to get consistent with that. But the problem is what some people having issues with is like, yeah, but some of them not that good. You know how hard it is to get good at something when you're already a millionaire doing it at whatever level? Mm-hmm. You know, what pushed us when we were coming up was that if I get good, I can get the money.
Right.
But now it's like they got the money, so what is the urgency unless you get that one or two that's really, really care about the craft? Who cares about being good at it when end result is I'm getting paid off the shit?
Well, you always want to be good at what you do, don't you?
Some people, but the level of getting good at now is different. Like today, people getting good at knowing algorithms.
There's a lot of that.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
get good at knowing what the system is, which is fucking incredible. If you put talent on top of that,
Right.
you know, it should be.
Yeah, if you're a smart person and you know how to really utilize the system, I want to say manipulate, but that's the wrong word. It really is utilize. Because
Utilize.
it's just, you're like Mr. Beast. That's a perfect example.
Right.
That guy figured out like how to make the right captions and how to make the right image that you click on for the YouTube videos, the right title, and then he figured out how to just keep dumping money into his product. And he figured out exactly where the algorithms are, and he has it translated into different languages.
And that's a definite. That's what I'm saying is that's the skill set that's going to get rid of a lot of jobs.
That guy's a unicorn, though. But here's the thing. I feel like if you have AI, like whatever the next generation of ChatGPT is, you could be able to devise a very effective business plan that like really made sense. The AI would sort of guide you step by step. Like, this is what you're going to do to achieve success. It'll probably even break it down. If you write for 20 minutes every day, that will increase your time of material by 50 minutes over the course of the next 10 months. And if you like do all the calculations, like, holy shit, is that real? And if you really thought about it that way, like through artificial intelligence, you let it guide your career, it would probably do a fucking amazing job of like putting you into the perfect position to be. I mean, if artificial
so we're going to be
auditioning
really... against motherfuckers, an artificial intelligence guy. You sending your tape in, and then they got a motherfucker that's audition like this. Hey, I need Joe to be a police officer, arrest these guys for stealing.
Donnell, we have to realize we're that close to them there being fake people. We're that close.
Hopefully I'm dead before they show up.
No, it's not.
Because I already deal with regular fake people. Now we got artificially created fake people. Oh, Hollywood is fucking dead.
Oh, they're in trouble. Oh, Hollywood's dead. No. For real, though, Hollywood's dead. Just looking at that movie.
You buried it. You helped bury it.
I didn't do shit.
Yes, you did.
What did I do? I just abandoned ship.
You helped bury it. You showed motherfuckers something you could do that they probably didn't think you could do. Go somewhere, post up, do your shit, and create a whole fucking comedy community in Austin.
Yeah, I didn't think I could do it either.
You knew you could do it.
I did not know
yes,
I could
you
do it.
You could do it.
I did not know I could do it. I just did it.
That's why I'll tell you. And you have, like, you doing it. A lot of people doing it. But I did your club, the Mothership, and it's like anybody, not anybody, if you have enough money, you could build a nice club, right? It's a nice club, state-of-the-art, whatever. But it doesn't make it a comedy community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's going to be the challenges of, like, all these people that open up comedy clubs and stuff. Mm-hmm. Dave has opened up one. I think Mike Epps. Just a lot of them, like, popping up, and I think that's the dope thing. But the thing is, like, it's a difference between having a comedy community, you know?
Yeah, you have to do that on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things that we did when we opened up the club was set up, like, a whole, like, these are the nights you're going to have open mic. You know, we're going to have comedians audition to be door people so that, like, they'll be able to see guys like Dave Attell, who's just there this weekend. And then you'll have, like, this very clear pathway. There's, like, open mic night. The talent coordinator will be there. He'll be able to watch you. Maybe he can even give you some tips. Other comics can watch you. They see you working the door. You get to see all this great comedy. You get to be around all this great comedy. And then there's a lot of places to go in town. And we'll let you punch out.
7 days a week, right?
They let people punch out. Like, a comic has a set down the street. They can punch out, go run down the street, do a set, come back to work.
That's how it's supposed to be. You do 7 days a week, right?
Yeah, we're 7 days a week.
That's how I gauge whenever I go, and you don't never see anyone.
2 nights open mic nights, too.
I always gauge a club. Not gauge it, but you could tell how successful a club is if they could run fucking 7 nights a week.
Well, it's you know, it was the perfect timing. It's just a weird coincidence of all these things happening that opened all these doors at exactly the same time. Like, it's like going down the street and you hit every green light, like, magically, and it just goes.
You know, it's a system in New York. If you, on those streets, 2nd Avenue, any of those streets, if you drive 28 miles an hour, you will catch every light from, like, 23rd Street to up 115. That's a fact. I know you didn't know, but I've tried it.
I've heard that.
Yeah, if you do it, I think it's 28 miles an hour. It's a straight shot.
Wow.
A couple cats and dogs will get ran over in that process, but as long as you might maintain that consistency of 28 miles an hour, you won't stop. That was a fact that I know you didn't know.
I had heard that before. I had heard that from cab drivers.
Is there anything you haven't heard, Joe?
At this point in time, I always think that, but then Jonan comes along and throws me for a loop.
At 16. At 16, the last time I was here, you didn't know what a hot 16 was.
That's right. I didn't. Yeah.
But you asked me about this suit.
It looks sweet.
And as I'm watching myself in the camera, I'm like, did I go overboard?
No. You look great. I wish I'd known. I would have wore a suit too. I like wearing a suit.
I know. I remember
Makes
when
me
we
feel
was
like
doing.
we did those
When we
arenas.
did those arena shows,
Yeah.
and your whole energy changed when you had a suit on. Like I did on my special, I said, "Stomp my feet." You start stomping your feet, and you said, you could do your set, but it's just something that's classic about being able to do stand up in the suit.
There is something about it.
And that's how I felt even when I did New Day. First off, this was my third time shooting this special. I told you the story.
Yes.
And I remember I was really getting stressed because every time I saw you, you would be like, when is the special coming out? When is the special? I'm like, I don't know. I fucking shot the shit. I don't know. First time I did the special during the pandemic, at the end of the pandemic, when the clubs still had all this COVID protocol and
They had masks on.
Yeah, mask on and
Yeah.
vaccination cards. Have you been tested and what shot you had? Johnson & Johnson and all that shit. We did it in North Carolina. And our back was already against it because the venue I chose, it held 600 people. I think it was a Fillmore Theater, 700 people. And we had a cell of 700 people. But then when Netflix was like, where's your card? Where's this? It went down, the first show went down to like 250 people.
Oh, they had to have vaccine cards to get in?
All of that shit. Which means now in the back of the show, you got to put a black curtain.
Oh, no.
Now you like looking at like a half-filled audience.
Oh,
They got masks on and shit.
Oh, no.
Did the show. First show went well. Right? First show went well. And then Dave was like, because he produced it, Dave said, if we don't get it, we can shoot it again. I'm like, motherfucker, ain't no time to shoot this. We don't get it this time. Second time at it, I caught a standing O. Stan Latham going crazy, Ricky Hughes going crazy. We're like, oh, we got it. And we announced that my special was going to come out at the same time we announced the Earthquake special was going to come out. A week after that announcement, Dave calls me. He says, Donnell, I want to shoot your special over. I'm like, what the that's the most insulting thing. You tell a comedian you want to shoot over, the first thing you think, what, it wasn't funny?
Right.
That's the first thing. He was like, I can put you in front of any audience, you'll rip the room. He said, but it doesn't make it a great special. He said, of everybody under the umbrella of the home team that people are really anticipating because of your connection with that show is you. If we're going to do it, we got to get it right. It was tough because I'm like, oh, this is going to be the joint that give me a platform for people to see me do stand-up. But we basically scrapped the shit. He said, Donnell, you had too much COVID jokes in there. And think about it. If I would have shot a special with mask in it, it automatically dates you to 2020.
Yeah.
As soon as you turn around, it's like, oh, this shit was during the pandemic.
How wild was the pandemic?
I miss it. I was thinking about it the other day. I miss it, man. I miss not having to be around a lot of motherfuckers. I missed how people appreciated simple things. I miss how when you had a bubble, you could block all this negative, all the haters out.
You weren't allowed to come inside the bubble.
Give me 6 feet, bitch.
Yeah.
Bitch, give me 6 feet. The bubble. And inviting who you wanted. I missed how people appreciate life. I think we should do like a lockdown week, a worldwide lockdown week, once a year where the whole fucking world just shuts the fuck down.
Yeah, that would be great, except you can't tell people to shut things down because then you're going to give the power to the government to shut things down whenever they want for a week. And then they might decide 2 weeks is better, maybe a month. Like you can't give them the power to shut things down. If people decide to not do anything.
We should vote, so we could vote on like a lockdown, like national lockdown day.
You don't want to take away freedom from people.
I don't want to take away freedom.
If people want to do it, they should be able to do it. If y'all agree to do it, do it on your own.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, what happened when we start making people do something? Guess what happened?
Yeah.
When you make somebody do something. When you make somebody wash their hands. When you make somebody give you 6 feet. When you make them do something, it forces some type of change. I'm not saying forever, but I think that we should have a joint where we just lock down everything for like a fucking week. Everything is dead. Shit was fun. Some people died.
Not that many.
In comparison to
were
the people that live.
not already sick.
Point.
It is a disease that killed people for sure, but it's a disease that killed people with, what was the percentage? It's like a large percentage of them had 4 comorbidities.
Oh,
A
yeah?
large percentage of the people that died from COVID. 4.
So it just
4
kinda
different things that are killing you.
It just said wrap it up. It said,
It's like that came along
Right.
to an already compromised human, which is not to say that we shouldn't, try to help compromised humans, but I'm saying that it's not what they were selling it as or what people were terrified that it was going to be.
yeah, but I know it was, for me.
But it was so weird what it did for us, man. Do you remember those days at Stubbs? I went to Stubbs the other day to see the Black Keys, and it just brought me back to those days at Stubbs. We did those shows there. It was like there was a wild, crazy feeling about doing something when no one else was doing anything.
It was fucking, I got high off of this
It was
shit.
exciting. We were
was-
still doing comedy.
Man,
and
we
comedy
was-
was shut down
We were
everywhere.
still doing comedy. We were still eating with groups of people.
We're hanging out.
That's what I'm saying
Yeah.
about appreciate it. Then but a lot of people thought we were reckless. But every part of this, it was protocol.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, every part of it was protocol. You weren't going to be around anybody that hadn't been tested. Period.
Right.
And it was just something about it. Even when we saw each other, it was like, oh shit, we got excited about doing regular shit.
Yeah.
Even when all of our crew caught COVID at the same time, it was like a chickenpox party. We went down from a team of 24, and every day, this is when I knew it was getting bad, because I used to plan like the lunches for everybody, and we had lunch like at 12 o'clock every day. And they were like, I wonder what we're going to have for lunch. It'll be 24 people. Then once the bubble popped, one day it was 22, it was 20, it was 19, it went down to 12. To 4 people, you had to fend for yourself. The whole fucking crew caught it.
And this is pre-vaccines. This is pre...
That was right. It was right when vaccines was about to pop, because I had somebody... I know this sounds so ghetto. I had somebody that could get me the Johnson & Johnson on the low.
On the low.
Yeah.
People were excited to get it at the beginning.
All of it.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it quick, too.
I almost got it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got lucky.
See, now you
I
like...
got lucky. I dodged that.
Now, I'm wondering, ever since I got it, I'm waiting for some shit to happen in my body that I can contribute to that shit. But,
Well, a
yeah,
lot
I
of
got the
people
jab.
can. It did something to a lot of people. It's got a very high rate of side effect.
Why you fucking with me now, man?
It does.
Which one?
I think all of them.
And what's...
I don't think any of them are good for you.
I didn't... So what's going to happen to
I
me?
think if you were an old person and it was the first go around of COVID, it probably would help you. But I think there's a lot of problems with that thing.
What's been the...
Well, there's a lot of side effects. I mean, there's the craziest thing that's going on right now is the increase in all-cause mortality. That's the crazy thing.
Due to the vaccine?
Yeah, there's an excess death. There's like a excess death like number increase. That's pretty. It's if you were a statistician, if you're a statistics person, and you were looking at indications that something went wrong, you would say, well, was there anything that caused these people's bodies to change where we're getting this large number of excess deaths? In
Why
some
you
people,
fucking
it's
with me, man?
as many as 40%.
Why you
in
fucking
some
with me,
age
man?
groups. 40% excess deaths.
And what type of shit?
I think it just means like 40% more people died than normally do. Basically, that's what it means, right?
Black.
Jamie?
Black?
Excess deaths?
Black?
Everybody. Everybody. And a lot of it is cardiac stuff. Cardiac stuff went way up. But a lot of people got it and nothing happened to them. And they're fine.
I feel like that was a personal attack on me. Like you
No.
like
It was
like Donnell, you got the jab twice.
Listen, I would have got it. I was ready to get it. I didn't get it just because they couldn't do it. I had to go to a clinic or the
Yeah, you had to
hospital
stay.
or wherever. And then I said, I'll get it when I come back next time. And between that time and me coming back next time, they had already pulled it. They pulled it because of blood clots. And
Yeah, I
was
got
like,
it because
get
of work. It was like, I know this sounds crazy, but you couldn't, like, if you were working as a working actor, and
Yeah, you couldn't work. You couldn't work. You couldn't work.
So I know some people made it. I mean, I know people like, yeah, you compromise your body, and then some areas people think it's like, oh, it's the white man trying to control you.
Yeah.
But it was at one point, it was like, if you were trying to work, you wasn't working unless you had a vaccination.
Yeah, you weren't going anywhere. You weren't flying anywhere. Yeah, it was a real issue. And there was a lot of countries that until recently you had to have a vaccine card, including America. You had to have a vaccine card to get in, unless you walked across the border, of course.
Oh,
Then you can come right
Shout
in.
out to the Mexicans.
Then you come right in.
They had where was it? Where was in Canada? Australia. They had the biggest. I think they were the most.
Australia was
tightest.
crazy. They were putting people in camps.
Yep.
If you were sick, they'd take you, you could have been fine. Like,
And you couldn't travel. Period. You
No.
just were there, right?
and if you got sick and then they put you in that camp, you can't go anywhere. And there's fucking armed people out there waiting for you.
And they didn't have that much.
What?
They didn't have that much death either, so it worked.
Well, no, it didn't work. First of all, it's a terrible idea to just round people up and make them go to camps because they're sick. You don't allow them to stay at home. You determine where they can move and not move. You're arresting people for wearing masks outside. None of that is scientific. None of it works. There's never been a respiratory disease.
You don't think lockdown?
No.
You don't think lockdown helped us at all?
No, not at
So
all.
you think it would have just been passing if we wouldn't have had the
think
lockdown and all the protocol?
Maybe it slowed the rate of people getting it. Maybe. You could say that. And maybe for older people, it protected them from being in contact with people that would give it to them. Okay? Maybe. But in terms of what it did to the economy and what it did to the small businesses and all the small restaurants and how many people went into drug addiction because their fucking whole life, everything they worked for fell apart. How many people lost everything through no fault of their own? People that have been working for decades in restaurants and small mom and pop shops, they would just all went under. None of them could handle that year and a half where you couldn't work at all. It doesn't make any sense that anyone could have ever watched that happen and see that 70% of the restaurants were crumbling in front of them and not to make some sort of a correction.
Now,
Doesn't make any sense that they didn't.
I see the aftermath when I go. I was insane. Whenever I go to these cities and you look at the downtown area.
So that's all from the lockdowns, man. That's a big part of it. Where people can't work for a year and a half.
Yeah, but then
you're gonna have so many more homeless people. You're gonna have so many more people that are in despair. So many more people that become alcoholics. Remember all the people that were drinking like crazy during the pandemic?
That was the best time to drink.
This lady made a video. She was jogging down her street taking video of all the different recyclables that people had out. It's all just bottles of tequila and bottles of
during
wine.
the pandemic.
Like, people are going hard.
Yeah, I was a part of that bubble.
Yeah.
It was a good bubble. And it felt the freedom when we all came together.
Here's the thing, though. The lockdown was a terrible idea. It was terrible for everybody. It's terrible for kids. It's terrible for everybody. It might have, you could make an argument that it might slow the spread of the disease. But, there's just so much they did to suppress alternative
But they had to
methods.
we had to do something.
Yeah, well, what they should have done is listen to all the doctors instead of just the doctors that wanted to vaccinate people, because there was a lot of doctors that were prescribing alternative treatments. There was different remedies. There was a bunch of different things they did that helped people that got sick, especially monoclonal antibodies. There's a lot. And then they stopped giving those to people. They stopped making them accessible. Once you were in the hospital, they wouldn't let you have it. Like there was so much shit that went on that was just if you wanted to be really, really clear with what you're looking at, you would have to say, God, I think this is motivated more by money than taking care of people. Much of it. Much of it.
100% Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, they all came up.
And you can't even hate
even
that,
in the
'cause
testing.
That's what they do.
Right.
That's what they do. That's their business.
So we need a pandemic or something catastrophic like that to happen before big business can make more money.
No, we need AI.
So somebody sat there. So did really
AI is going to put the kibosh on all of it.
AI is going to.
I think we're going to have President AI. That's what I think. I think we're going to realize people are too emotional and easily distracted and too corrupt. And just like this, the percentage of corruption is costing this amount of money.
So we're going to have
incorrect allocation of money to this and that. And yeah, AI is going to take over. AI president, yeah. I'm not kidding.
A lot of people with actually what you're smoking right now, Joe.
No.
So what you do? You vote for this? How does it?
Well, here's the thing. If they really want complete total control, they'll trick you into telling you that you don't need to vote anymore because AI is going to equitably distribute all wealth, all social services, all housing. Everything's going to be even for everybody. AI knows how to do it. It's going to stop all international conflict. It's going to have a perfect carbon neutral existence while powering everything up. But it has to take control.
But somebody has to be in control of what you
Not
ask
necessarily.
Somebody. So it's just going to be anybody.
Not necessarily. No, not
Nobody's
necessarily.
going to be able to control the information you give AI to do everything you just said.
No. What happens is AI achieves what they call sentient AI. So what it is at a certain point in time, if artificial intelligence gets good enough, it's going to be autonomous. It's going to be able to control itself, and it's going to be able to make better versions of itself. It's not going to be as simple as you made a thing, and now I programmed into the thing what the parameters of this thing are, and now this thing can act like a person. No, you turn it into a life form, and then you say you have the ability to create better versions of yourself. Well, that thing
You're scaring the shit out of me right now.
That thing's going to be a god, okay? That thing that's going to be a god, that thing might be 4 years away from us right now.
Right.
I'm like, no bullshit. Like 2029, it might be a real thing by then with the way technology is moving so fast. Like, we didn't even think about AI being a threat.
You know how many deadbeat dads are going to leave? If you could do an AI version of being a dad, they're going to be like, fuck it, I'm out of here. You go fuck with Junior. I'm gone. I can't believe, but you can believe
human beings are going to live in alternative realities. It's not going to be as simple as, now all of a sudden there's artificial intelligence. It's artificial intelligence that can give you whatever elixir you need to keep you happy. And that's what it's probably going to do to people. It's probably going to figure out a way to sedate people.
So how are people going to
keep them calm?
How are people
and let them stop breeding?
So how are people going to be able to work and provide for themselves? It's just going to be a different. It's going to be a different skill set. It's going to be a different type of jobs.
Yeah.
How are humans going to be able to compete with AI?
Well, we're not. That's the thing. It's not possible. If they reach a certain point, so if you just think about, do you know what an exponential increase in technology is?
I don't.
Exponential means it's not as simple as like 1 + 1 = 2. It's you got to think that with each, like you know how they do like a funnel, and they have a quarter and they spin the quarter around the funnel, and at the bottom it gets faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
That's how exponential increase in technology works. With each invention, it makes all these other inventions, and they all accelerate. And as they do it, it happens so fast and so quick that this exponential thing is hard to understand, because it's not like each step is one more. It's like earthquakes. Like a 7.1 earthquake is like way stronger than a 7. And they just get bigger and because it's exponential. That's the same thing with technology. It's going to happen so fast that the increase in power and its ability to do whatever it wants to do is going to happen so quick that once it becomes alive, it's just going to make better versions of itself, like immediately.
But what do we do? There's nothing we'll be able to do to control
We
it.
are fucked.
That's what I was
Because
trying
there will
to say.
be no more jobs.
When you first started this shit, I was like, every time you built up and said what the fuck you said, I said, we are fucked.
We're fucked.
We're fucked.
We're fucked. They're already having them work as kitchen assistants, where they talk to you in your kitchen.
They got robots. I went to a restaurant the other day, and a robot motherfucker pulled up with the noodles and all that type of shit.
Jesus.
I go to studios. I go to like Good Day, Pittsburgh, and all this type of shit. And where you used to go in those places and see like 12 cameramen, is one producer, and all the cameras are fucking robotic.
Didn't we learn from iRobot?
No, we didn't.
Why didn't we learn from those movies? Why didn't we learn from Terminator? What the fuck is wrong with us?
The reason why, because we thought it was just a movie. Why didn't we learn from George Jetson? Yo, that was my state of the art shit. You know, I'm so old, yo, that when I remember when thinking about George Jetson, my mindset was like, that will never fucking happen. And my son has a phone with a goddamn video camera.
Right.
Because we don't believe the shit is going to happen.
Well, it happens so fast. That's another example of exponentially increasing technology.
That's why, Joe, that's why I fuck with the woods. Yeah. That's why, Joe, I said, fuck Hollywood. I'm going from the streets to the creeks.
Get yourself
I
a
said I'm going from the
satellite phone.
hoods.
Get a satellite
Nah,
phone.
you got all this survival shit.
Get a satellite phone and go to the woods.
And then what? Who the fuck you gonna
Just
call?
call whoever
Just
the
you.
fuck you want.
You're the only. But
Hey,
this is
that's
what I
out there.
decided.
We got that photo out
this
there.
decided I'm going from the streets to the creeks, from the hoods to the woods, from whores to oars, from Adidas to Tevas, Joe. My whole mindset, my whole thing is a fucking new day. Fuck Hollywood. Gone.
I don't think it really exists for us anymore.
No,
like
and not really,
comedy
especially-
Hollywood, like comedy Hollywood. Comedy Hollywood is a ghost town.
It's not there anymore. You are an example, and there's a lot of other examples of you can literally make Hollywood wherever the fuck you want to make Hollywood.
But it's
You don't
not
have to
even.
be on.
It's
the
not
only reason you want to be in Hollywood
at
now
all, though.
is for the parties, yo, and nobody's going to those parties anymore. You gotta tell them no. There's a lot. It's hard not to think about it, but there's a lot of people that's not just in the case with Diddy. It's not like this shit that's happening with him right now. This shit been going on in Hollywood forever. I'm not saying it's right, but at some point you gotta say no. That's the simplest thing to tell somebody. The best advice. All right, this guy's get ready to bring a baseball bat, stick it in your ass with a line of cocaine. What are you going to tell him? Pew, 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 pew. Boom, boom, boom. You got to tell him no.
Bro, that's some next level shit.
What the parties?
Yeah.
It's not. Joe, you don't know about the parties, Joe.
I don't go to those parties.
I didn't say if you fucking went to the parties. I said do.
I hear rumors. I hear whispers.
Joe, you don't know about these parties. You don't know about these parties. You don't know about the parties when a motherfucker come up to you, you with your girlfriend, and they like, I like both of you. You don't know about these parties? You never heard about these parties?
No.
You never had anybody come up to you and they say shit like this, Joe? So we think you're cute. We get it. You never heard about these parties, Joe. Now the question is,
How many of them are out there? And do you think that's a Hollywood thing?
I think that it's definitely more prevalent in Hollywood than in like Oklahoma. But I'm pretty
So what
sure
do you think-
these type of parties and things exist. The bottom line is, man,
Just deviants.
it's just deviance.
Yeah.
And guess what we want to do for the most part of our life, Joe? You know who we want to dance with? The devil. Most people have more fun with the devil than with God. God is the party pooper.
Is this the part where you announce the opening of your new church?
You know what, Joe? Joe, listen. You might not agree with this, but
No,
I thought
I do.
about. I want to. Yo, I'm not saying I want to be a
Right?
pastor.
You could do it.
I'll get it. Yo, help
Kennison
me.
did it.
At AI church, I can get my own church.
Right.
Have my own people to come, because I want to have a church where people like fuck with God, but don't really fuck with God.
Right.
And let me give you an
You want to
example.
try to put him on the path.
Put them on the path. And I want people that fuck with God but don't fuck with God. And the reason what I'm trying to say, Joe, is like I fuck with God and I don't fuck with God. And the reason why I say I don't fuck with God, like I never abuse it. I'm never like, oh God, please, this light is about to turn red. I can't eat this $75 ticket. God, please help me. I don't use God for shit like that. I would never be like, oh God, it's 12 o'clock. I hope the Burger King drive-thru line is still open. I really need a Whopper my way, God. Please help me, God. I don't fuck with God like that. When I fuck with guys like this, my lady's pregnant. God, please give me a healthy baby.
That's reasonable.
That's the. I know I'm not going to start a church, but the idea of getting people to feel like that, think about like that's how I feel. That's going to be my change. I'm going to start a church that fuck with people that fuck with God but don't fuck with God.
Specifically.
Yeah. What do you think?
I like it. You definitely could be a preacher. I like the way you're dressed. I see you in a
So now
private
you-
jet. I see you in front of a Rolls Royce.
You didn't see me for
I
Don't
see
do that. You start
I
scaring
see
that. Don't do that.
I see
Don't
an
do that.
arena with your big smiling face on
Nah,
it.
I don't want that. You know what? I don't want. You know
You
what?
could do it though. Come on, if that guy, what's his name that does it? Joel. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
wanna
think
do
you
that.
could dominate in that world?
No, but I do think that there's a place for people that there has to be a church or something for people that aren't perfect.
There would be a
I think
cool.
that people go for a lot of things. I think a lot of people's with religion and everything, they think that you have to be perfect to be part of it or to understand it, and I don't think that's the case. I do
Right.
believe it's something that makes you feel good. People make the argument, is it real or is it not? But it's something that's spiritual that makes a person feel good, want to do better, and want to live a right way. So if I had a church, that's if I was to even we're joking about it, but that would be like the type of energy that I would fuck with.
Well, people would like something like that because there's a lot of people that don't want to go to like a traditional church, but they're interested in the idea of it. You know, the way it's been described to me, the best way, I think Jordan Peterson was the first person to tell me this, that even if you don't necessarily believe in God, if you live like you believe in God, you will live a better life. If you follow those principles and just try to believe, you'll live a better life.
Yeah,
even if you think in your logical mind, which is really fascinating, right? Even if you think in your logical mind, what is the possibility that one grand creator has this insane connection to everything that happens all throughout the universe, and there's some sort of a divine plan to every word you say and everything you do and every event that ever takes place in your life and everyone's life around you.
Yep.
That's a lot of people are like, I don't know. But if you do believe that,
that's where they. That's
if you do believe that and you live like that, you'll have a better life.
But I think everybody needs to believe in
Something. Yeah.
You got to believe in something. And that's why my point about like the devil, everybody want to dance with the devil.
Yeah.
Devil has the best parties, but then after a while, think about it. If your phone ring, this is like back in the day.
Yeah.
Your phone ring, right? Brr, you answer the phone. You see on the caller ID, you see it's the devil. It's the devil, right? And you let it ring to the last fucking ring. You finally pick it up. What's up? And the devil is like, man, we about to have this banging ass party. We got all these bitches, man. We about to get it popping. We got some good food. It's about to be jumping down here. You'll be like, fuck, I'm coming, devil.
Right. Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. You go to the island. Yeah, like that.
Exactly.
Like, you like this, I'm going, right? Now you getting dressed. You about all this party about to be popping. You getting dressed, then your phone ring again. And brr, it says God. The first thing you're going to look at God is like,
God damn it.
fuck! I can't believe you. Right
If God's
now.
calling and you just pause before you answer, he's going to be mad. If you just look at it and go, oh, shit, should I?
But that's what you're going to
I'm
be.
going to let this go to voicemail. You know what a bad motherfucker you have to be let God go to voicemail?
Yeah, that's very funny. No, to put God on hold is as many people try to call into God to put God on hold. It's like, oh, this dude's got some balls.
It's one of the things that keeps me on iPhones is
What?
random FaceTimes from friends.
Out of nowhere,
Out of nowhere.
just to validate the friendship,
No, it's just a fun thing.
or just to FaceTime.
It's just
somebody?
fun when someone FaceTimes you out of nowhere. You're like, oh, shit.
But then the worst is like you anticipate them to pick it up and they don't pick it up,
Oh.
and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you fucking asshole, you don't know him.
Well, then you got to figure out where your relationship stands.
Nah, I don't want to judge it off of that. Some people have bad days. I don't want to judge it after that.
No,
sometimes
I don't judge nothing.
Yeah.
I assume people like you or me get too many fucking text messages anyway. You can't even keep up with everything. It's not possible.
Yeah,
There's
I
not
know.
messages on Instagram and Twitter. Like, it's not possible to
And
keep
then
up.
I'm older. I get voice messages. The people think I'm gonna answer a voicemail message. They
Get
fucking
the
lost
fuck
it.
out of here. Yeah.
That means I gotta. Do you even know
or
how?
long ass emails. Like, come with this. Why do you have so many links in this email?
Remember we used to too many. Just send me the link. It's too many. Like voice. It used to be. I don't even know how to program a voice recording. Hey, this is Donnell. How do you even do that?
I guess you just press a button on your phone.
Does anybody know the button? It's got to be like 1 or 9 or something. I got used to be. When we used to do it, Joe. We used to have slow music in the background.
Yes.
Hey, right. We say shit like, "Hey,
Yeah.
right person, wrong time." Leave your number and I'll be sure
Leave
to
it.
call you back.
Everybody try to be cool. Leave it.
And if you
Yeah.
don't, I mean, it's like you didn't even call. That was it. We used to have music in the back. Like, that was the shit.
So remember answering machine messages?
And
Have
you could
your
hear 'em.
favorite song in the background.
Yeah. You have that, yo, doom, 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 doom. Yo, this is
Yeah.
doom, doom, doom. All that stupid shit.
And you really didn't have to have your own voice. You could just have music. Like,
And then you got creative. If you really knew people, you could get somebody like, yo, could you leave my voice recording for me? But nobody used the phone for nobody talks on the phone anymore.
I remember really clearly when you first could use music as an option when someone calls you.
Or in the background music.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to know when you were on hold at a hospital, but they had it where you could pick it. And then you would let them go to voicemail just so they could hear how cool your music was in the background. Couldn't pick up. You had to let them know, I got music in the background of my shit.
Yeah, I would love it when my phone would ring and you could hear songs. Now I would think that's annoying as fuck. But back then it was so novel.
But who actually picks up a phone when it rings? We don't even
Not anymore.
communicate like that anymore.
No.
It's all text.
Very rarely. I do like to make phone calls when I'm in my car, though. I'll call a friend if I'm in my car.
Only when you think about them, but not for anything.
I do it just to say hi, because it's a good way to say hi. Because if I'm driving to work or driving to the club or driving somewhere, it's like I got dead time.
I told
I'd like
myself
to just say hi to somebody.
I told myself this year, I was like, you know how when you say, oh man, something happens, you're like, I was just about to call that person.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about you. You called me first. I've started to do that when I get that impulse, like somebody pops up.
Yeah.
Just like, let me just call this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you
Just
came
follow
across
the
my brain.
instincts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like when I told you I wanted to get one of those, what I text you, I said I want to get one of those cyber trucks.
Yeah.
I was like, black people always looking for a hookup. I was like, I know you got a hookup. Get me on the list, right? Have you drove that car?
I have not driven it.
No?
I saw it in person. I've seen a bunch of them now. I saw it in person a long time ago. It's a real trip, man. It really looks like something from the future.
On the inside of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can imagine. It looks probably like what, simulator or something.
It's crazy. The whole
It doesn't
thing is
have.
crazy.
It probably doesn't have a regular steering wheel.
You can get a regular steering wheel.
Or
it's
it's
one of
like
the options.
a
It's called what's that called? A yoke. You can get a yoke, which is I have it on my Tesla. I'm not really a big fan of it. I have
It's
the
just
Model
one unit?
S. No, it's like you're
I know you're talking
holding
like a
on.
game, yeah.
It's like you're doing a Formula One car or something. It's just not good for parking.
Spinning around?
It's weird for spinning the wheel around. It's
Right.
fine if you're just on the highway.
I'm not. I don't even look at my fucking reverse cameras in my
The
car.
wheel's the way to go. What is that? That's a Cybertruck one?
I don't know if you can get the wheel on the truck. Can you?
Well, that is a wheel.
I guess it is. It's
It is a
like
wheel.
A mixture of both.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, it definitely has a top. The whole thing about turning is you want a top.
Yeah, the flat.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
You won't even notice the difference. But I don't know if
There
that's
you go.
ideal. That's how the old Tesla had it like that. It must be my old one. Or that's the Cybertruck's version? Oh, it is. I didn't have I had something that looked like that but with a top on it. What was the S before that?
I don't know anything. I know X model.
There was
and then what is it called?
what is it?
Plaid or something?
P100D. Yeah, when I had a P100D, I felt like they had it all down right. There was a blinker switch on the stock, you know, which everybody knows.
I don't give a fuck, Joe. I just want to know how the sound system. That's how you sell cars to black folks.
The sound system's good in these things,
that's
man.
it. So
yeah,
that's the only way to do it.
Do you ever drive an electric car though?
Yeah, it's weird because you want to go vroom vroom and you like
Just whoosh.
you'll blow that shit up. Yeah, but I wanted to at least drive. When I was thinking about it, that'd be something fun to do.
It's a fun thing. They're big as shit though. That's a big truck.
I heard the waiting list is like a year, right?
Is it?
Yeah, that's what the streets were saying.
The streets.
Yeah, the streets very important. You got to listen to the streets. If you don't listen to the streets, you could be in big trouble.
Waiting list of a year. In 1 year, what are the odds civilization exists? It's not 100%.
You got me planning, but I'm like,
It's not 100%.
just give me a good Austin.
In
Joe's
1
trying
year,
to kill me off. Just give me a good 20.
In 1 year,
You have an artificial dad.
Yeah. 1 year, I say we're like 50-50.
But the thought of that is like very interesting, and I think you're 100% right.
Yeah. Especially with this election coming up.
Trump's going to win. I'm not saying I'm a supporter, but I cannot see how he's not going to win.
I don't know if they're really going to have Biden against Trump. I'm not convinced of that.
What's the options?
He
With
resigns.
this suit, I feel like I should be able to answer
You
that
should be able to
question.
answer that. You should be on CNN.
Yeah, and
I
then
feel like
that Kamala steps up, but she doesn't have
look, at any moment. First of all, the stress of being the president must be insane stress, right? It makes everybody look old. He was already very old, and not just chronologically, but biologically. People keep pointing to his age and Trump's age. Like, stop doing that. It doesn't make any sense. I know what you're trying to say, that they're similar in chronological age, but they're definitely not similar in the effect of decay. Like, one guy is at least
Trump feels like he's sharp.
reasonably sharp.
Right.
You know, reasonably sharp. But there are reasonably sharp businessmen that exist that are into their 90s can have, you know, great conversations with people. They're
Yeah, but-
sharp. But Biden has problems. There's
It
problems
feels like
there.
his motor skills are off. It feels
Everything's
like you
off.
couldn't. It
And
feels like.
to deny that is just, you're not helping anybody.
But is he? Do you think his mind is still alert?
No, I don't think so. No,
I remember-
I think he forgets all kinds of crazy things. Like,
I met Muhammad Ali in the airport, like maybe 5 or 6 years before he passed away, and it was interesting because I was dating this chick. I knew she was young because I said we were walking, and she said, "Oh, there go Muhammad Ali," and she kept walking. Right? I'm like, "Fuck you mean?" The like Arab Muhammad Ali or Ali Muhammad? She said Muhammad Ali. I'm like, where? I just like anybody would do. I was like, oh shit, it's Muhammad Ali. And I walked. He was in one of those, you know, like the cars, the electric cars. They have,
yes.
And everybody was going up to him, and I was like, I just want to shake your hand, right? I said, I just want to touch you, and his hands was like shaking, but his eyes were alert, like motherfucker, you know, like, you know, keep
Yeah.
it cool. But what I was saying,
Right.
like Biden, his motor skills seem like he's off, but I wonder if his mind is still sharp enough to go another 4 years.
The answer is no.
I think that'll be.
It's not fair. It's not fair to him. But all those people under him, they should be asking him to step down and let a democratically elected person that can actually lead the country take his place.
But who is that?
They're not going to do that because they don't really care. They just want to win. They
They
want to
don't
stay
care or they
in
don't have
power.
anybody.
Well, they want to stay in power. Listen, if they didn't want to stay in power, if they brought in Gavin Newsom, once he gets in, he brings all of his own people. And now there's different people, and a bunch of these people get fired. A bunch of these people are gone. A lot of the people that worked for the other administration. You got to realize if he's that old and that fucked,
You know how you get rid
who's
of you know how you
running
get-
the thing?
you
The
know how
people
you-
behind him
You know
are
how you
running
get
the
Biden
thing.
out, Joe?
How do you get Biden out? Donnell.
Have him sign for Bad Boy with Puffy's Bad Boy.
He probably could talk him into it for the country.
If he signs the Bad Boy, it's over. But I don't know like how I don't know how anybody's going to beat Trump.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going to. They keep trying to arrest
And the crazy
him.
thing is, this dude has been very competitive, and with for the most part, no news coverage. I haven't seen a
Well, the news
commercial.
coverage is always he's going to jail.
Right.
That's the news coverage. But the news
Which
coverage
gets his base super excited.
Well, it's like they got the thing is they got lied to for so long that they don't know what to believe anymore. So in the early days, it was Russia. Trump is colluding with Russia. There's a Russia collusion. Russia. Turned out to not be true. And they couldn't prove it. And so these people talked about nothing but that for years. So now when he's going to jail and getting mugshotted.
Who's going to jail?
Well, Trump went. They arrested him.
He
They
didn't
gave
go
him a
no
mugshot.
jail.
I don't know where the fuck he went, but they
precinct,
took a mugshot photo of him. Where
That's
the
like
fuck
a
they took
Polaroid.
him?
They probably brought that shit to where he was.
I think
he
they
went to
to a courthouse or something.
Yeah.
When Jamie comes back from the bathroom, we'll ask. But it's like I think he had to go to some courthouse or something like that to get arraigned. So when the stuff like that happens and people have already gone through years of the Russia bullshit, they don't believe you anymore. And so now,
No, I don't agree.
Now,
The people that really follow him believe not anymore. They believe everything.
they believe him. But
Yeah.
they don't believe the media anymore. When I'm saying the
Right.
media. Jamie, where did they take Trump when they took that mugshot photo of him? Where was he? Was he at a jail? Was he at a courthouse? Where was he?
He was in his side room in his house. He was in
Think so?
Mar-a-Lago. With
He has
with-
golf shorts on.
Yeah, with a green screen. He had a green screen background.
Fulton County Jail in Atlanta.
Fulton County Jail.
Oh, he did
in
it big.
Atlanta.
They call it. Oh, he went to jail.
Yeah,
for a second.
jail.
But he
Yeah.
wasn't there long enough to get like a sandwich or.
No, but
Or
he's there
anybody
long
to
enough for
shank
them
him.
to take one of the greatest photos in the history of the world. Look at that photo.
That looked like his regular campaign photo.
Well, a lot of people used it. They used it.
Look at it before.
Look at
before.
it is crazy, man. It's crazy that they're going after him for what they're going after him for. You know, the
I
whole
always said,
thing is so
like-
transparent.
Like the people that support Donald Trump want to support him to the day that they die.
Yes.
You're not going to change it. And as many times you indict him, whatever, all it does is invigorate that base, and those people they get more excited and more excited.
Well, people think that they're going to change your mind because they don't like something, but that doesn't always really work. And a lot of times it has the opposite effect because they don't like why you're trying to change their mind and how you're trying to distort the facts of things and only concentrate on negative things just to try to change a perspective and to lie and gaslight and tell me that Biden's sharper than ever. Like when they start saying things like that, okay, now everyone knows you're bullshitting. Okay, now you're just playing a game. So if you've agreed that sometimes you're going to play this game, we're going to say things that don't make any sense that you know aren't true,
And then the more
and that
important-
I know aren't true, and you're going to put them in the newspaper and you're going to put them on television.
But can you still respect a person? Because not the issue, but so much. This is the part.
Me?
That not you, but so much
can.
that's so fucked up about politics is that when people like personally can't stand someone because of what their political views are.
because of their politics.
Yeah, I don't.
That's silly.
In this business right here, that's a hard thing to subscribe to.
That's not a good mark of a man, for sure.
What,
A man that can't have a calm, relaxed disagreement with someone, with another man, you know, that's not a good sign of your self-control. That's probably not a good sign also of the why in which you engage in conversations. Because there's just far too many people that engage in conversations just trying to win. Because they've got it in their head that they have an idea and they want to argue their idea better than your idea. It's like a verbal sparring.
It's like
more
a baby. It's like a baby mama, Joe.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
They
but
just want to get that argument and win it. I don't.
they
want to
win it. Yeah. So that's a real problem that people have. It's a real problem because it doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't do you good even if you win, and more people are going to try to do it back to you. It doesn't do, like. It's way better to just not
engage
or not be attached to your ideas to the point where you identify with them, but instead just say, "Why do you think that?" And then they
this
tell
sound like
you.
give him. This seems like therapy in regard to co-parenting.
That's what I'm doing right now?
That's what it sounds like. It's so fucking relatable.
Well, it should be that way with all human beings.
You're so lucky
I think
you don't have to co-parent.
I'm very lucky. But also, I think with co-parenting, it's uniquely stressful because then the mother starts dating another guy, you start dating another woman.
But what about if it, why does she got to date first? Why she got to date first?
She's probably hot.
What? Why is it always the woman?
I'm trying to be politically correct.
Oh yeah,
but
makes sense.
But the point is, it's like it doesn't do anybody any good, but it's also so emotionally stressful, right?
I agree with, but I'm gonna tell you this is my thought on co-parenting. First part at the beginning of co-parenting, the first thing you as a co-parent, first thing you do. This is what makes the best co-parents. First thing is that person can't get happy before you. That would ruin you on the inside. So both people are trying to find happiness before the other one. You don't want that person. That's the beginning of co-parenting. You're like, fuck that. Why didn't it work? And then as it goes on for a while, then you start thinking about what is in the best interest. What's the best interest for the kid?
Right.
And that usually is not the first beginning of it, because the beginning of it you don't give a fuck.
And it's also like an emotional challenge. It's a
is.
challenge to just try to like get better control of your ability to communicate and just into, you know.
I think you and I know it's a lot of people in this situation, you grow into it. I never thought in my situation that would be me. I remember I was dating this woman some years ago, and her parents had split up when their brother sister were like really, really young. And at the time we were dating, that family, they used to get together for holidays. They weren't seeing each other anymore. They would get together holidays. They'd get together for Sunday dinner. And I was like, they must still be fucking or something, right? Because I thought that that's the only way. Then I realized that even with a situation with my son, I realized they were just trying to give the kids as much family and as a regular life as they possibly could, not being together.
Yeah.
And that experience made me want to be a better co-parent with my son. And we finally at the point where we get along and we know the best interest at the end of the day is what we do for Austin.
That's great.
Yep.
It's totally doable. And people change, you know. They change as they get older. People evolve. You get better at communicating. That's, again, it's what I was saying about arguing about ideas. It's not a good sign of a man.
Well, yeah.
Like getting angry, like verbally abusive, shitty, insulting, like what people tend to go to right away because they're just trying to win and they're trying to like break the person down as they're trying to win the argument. And I think it's real tempting. And it's tempting to people because people like to be good at stuff. And if you think you're smart, and you think you got somebody and you're good at something and you can chase it down.
I mean, I don't argue. If I ever argue, it's because I know I'm going to win. That's the only time. If there's a chance.
Like you argue if you're right, for sure.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
And that's been in relationship. Like if I argue with you, it's not like I'm flying off the top. I'm like this. I have everything to win this argument. That's why I don't get a lot of arguments because a lot of them I can't win. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll just stand back and just take the abuse.
I don't mind arguing sometimes when you have to say something because someone's saying something ridiculous. And you got to go, dude, stop. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Stop saying that.
I agree.
You know?
That's how I feel.
Because otherwise sometimes people, like, they'll pollute the environment with a bad idea.
I've had that situation in black podcasting. I had a situation, and I know I will leave names out, but the thing, like you said, was someone to hear, you know, as a comic, to hear, you're not funny, is in the comedy world of comedy. That's like the N-word of comedy.
It's also
very
like,
triggering.
I feel like it's a cry for help.
Yeah,
almost always. I mean, there's some shit that people say. There's a lot of shit Cat Williams said that turned out to be true, but I think there's this quote is that all criticism is a tragic result of unmet needs. That's a part of the quote.
Yeah.
But that part of the quote always resonates with me. It's like, yeah, that's what it is. Like these people, the reason why they're lashing out and saying you're not funny, like there's not more productive shit to do. Like you're trying to attack someone who's getting more attention than you.
Yeah.
Like why?
But I know that's a painful.
But that's not real. That's not real. Nobody.
It still hurts, Joe.
No, but not to
to you, Joe.
But you shouldn't feel it at all.
Joe, I still read fucking comments, man.
They're still going from the RZA episode. They won't let go.
They won't.
That's the first thing I told Donnell after the RZA episode. I said, don't read the comments.
And that first thing I did, it's just so hard. It's just hard because it be going so well, Joe. It'll be going so well. He's a beast. I love him. Top 5.
And
blah,
then,
blah, blah.
boom,
Bam.
he gets
and
you.
the whole fucking day is shut the fuck down.
Yeah, you don't want that in your
I
life, Donnell.
don't listen.
I was.
I can get to there, but I don't listen.
But this is something you have to take into consideration. I think that, especially with someone like you as a public figure.
Motherfuckers still think I ran off.
Look at
that. That was
That's
a
us.
joke.
Oh,
I
Brody.
texted him the other day. He thanked. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, I like that photo, Brody. That painting. We got to put that back up in here.
Yeah, but that's the day you made me stay.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
said,
yeah.
fuck
Well,
my
we
kid.
did it.
You said, fuck my kid.
I did not.
I said I want to go home to see my son.
I definitely did not.
You was
say
like,
that.
you was like,
I
you got your
said,
kid,
dude,
baby mama.
I said,
RZA.
dude, the RZA's coming next. Do you want to hang out? Because we were just having a fun time.
But the minute I said, man, I haven't seen my son in 2 weeks, you supposed to have been like this. Oh, get out of here. Go do that. You heard me say I wanted to see my son. And you said, I don't know. It's the RZA. And I stayed.
Yeah,
just
that was
to get
easy.
abused.
The
Just
devil just whispered in your ear.
Yeah, I told you I danced with him every
Just
once in a
to
while.
be abused. No, listen, man. The podcast was fun.
Oh, it was funny.
It was a great
But these
podcast.
comment motherfuckers, Joe, they fucking evil, man.
But Donnell, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
They won't be invited to my church.
They're welcome to their opinion. Everybody's
not
supposed
coming to
you
my
just-
church.
You don't want that in your head.
I don't, but I can't stay away from them. Fuck them.
They should all
Fuck
be
them,
able
fuck
to
them, fuck them, fuck them.
just let people go. Just don't read it. It's
so-
not good for you.
Yeah, they think, yo.
Even the good stuff's not good for you.
Nah,
Even the
that's
blowing
good
you
shit.
up.
That's the
you
love
like
shit. I
it?
love that. That's that. Top 5, Mount Rushmore. Hell yeah, killed, murdered. That's how I want to be supported. When we build artificial intelligence, I want them to be on my dick.
It will
all right?
be. It
I want
will
to be
be.
like, oh, best, top 5s. Oh, shit. You got to see them. Underrated. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Lame, cringe.
You know, that's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like, if artificial intelligence gets to the point where it can formulate a game plan and you actually follow that game plan. If artificial intelligence says, Donnell, we have sat down and devised a strategy to radically improve your popularity and your ticket sales.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to do it.
I love it,
And
yeah.
it lays it out for you. And it tells you what to do. And you're gonna develop a YouTube video every 3
Love
or
it.
4 months and put out a clip and do this and.
I would
Yeah.
love it.
I bet it would work.
I would love
I think creativity at this point has to come from a person, like especially like your kind of like joke writing, like the things that you make fun of, things that I make fun of, the things that are like unique to like whoever the individual is.
The only thing that's going to save us, and that's the people, if it's possible, is that now, oh my God, they're going to be making robots. Seeing a motherfucker live. It's going to be something about seeing somebody live. I think that's the only thing that's saving TV is sports events. That's the only thing people
That's
really,
true.
really tune into is what do I have to watch in that moment.
Yeah,
that's going to be the only thing.
Yeah, if you're watching a football game that is actually happening, that there's a scramble, the ball gets thrown, someone's trying to catch it. If you're watching a fight, dudes getting knocked out, you're watching actual things that are happening in real time. But if you're not, man, within 4 or 5 years, everything's going to be generated from a computer. And who knows how you're going to interface with it. Because they just started releasing these Apple Vision Pros.
I saw those.
Which are crazy. You can walk around in them. So you can be sitting in your living room with a giant screen and move things around and swipe things to the
So
left
you
and
can
swipe
actually
things to the
see
right.
stuff like glasses. Like I can walk, I can see like this.
You
It's
can
not
walk
just,
around.
Oh,
yeah, and then you have things that are in front of you. So you could sit down and have an enormous movie screen in front of you and watch Avatar in 3D and just sit there like, whoa. Or you can have a fucking spreadsheet and open it up. You can open up a website. You can fucking play video games.
And
You can
just
do-
by with your head in your hand, that's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. I don't want to. I'm stick.
5 years from now, Donnell, with AI, think about that with AI, where it just brings you into a world where you literally feel like you're in that jungle in Avatar with the flying plants and all the Na'vi and all the fucking those crazy animals on the ground. Imagine like that being around you, like indistinguishable from reality. Smells, taste, everything.
I'm gonna-
all programmed into your mind, syncing your brain up
Joe,
with
you're not
whatever this
recruiting
code
me.
is.
You're not recruiting me. You're not recruiting me. And
not
I'll
gonna
tell
go?
you what, you know where I'm going to go? I'm going to go to the woods. I'm going to go to the river.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, you can have your fucking 3D glasses. I'm going to go to the river.
Yeah.
I'm going to crawdad fish. I'm going to take my son and let him ride ramps in the backyard. I'm going to do regular shit while you dealing with all of this 3D AI shit.
Yeah, well,
And I'm going to get fucking David Tell's phone
Look how it does.
where nobody can get in touch
Look
with
at
me.
that. Look at that.
If your girlfriend's yelling, you just
That
cover her
guy's
up.
just watching YouTube.
Just keep staring at it.
She's
then that's
she's
a-
yelling at him, and he's watching a basketball
He's
game.
gonna disappear into the woods.
Oh, now he's in the woods. Look at that.
Oh, that's where I'm
Watching
going.
YouTube. Come on, how beautiful is that? It's kind of amazing.
I'm going to the woods.
The real woods.
I want to go to the real woods. And again, that's one of the things I like about Yellow Springs, Ohio, and being there is disconnecting and going and do some regular shit. The only thing that's going to save us from all of this alien shit and everything, you know, Joe, is this.
Sleeping in the woods?
That's not sleeping. That's chilling.
Chilling.
That's plants. That's some regular shit. The only thing that's going to save civilization is the woods, Joe. That's it. Doing regular shit and appreciating regular shit. You're halfway there. You like the woods to kill shit, but have you ever thought about living there?
No, I do. I like the woods, period.
Right.
I don't just like the woods to kill shit.
You don't do shit but kill shit in the woods, man.
No, I go in
When
the
last
woods.
what is the last time you
Sunday.
did non-killing something in the
Sunday.
woods? What was it?
When hiking.
Did you have a bow?
Did I have a what?
A bow with you just
No,
in case?
I had my dog. No, I didn't have a
You had
bow
a
just in
knife.
case.
Did you have a knife?
I always have a knife on me.
Okay, so you was prepared.
No, I was hiking.
You was. That's what's going to
I
say.
was outside in nature, having a good time.
That's
it was
what-
beautiful.
That's the only thing. It may sound simple. That's the only thing that's going to save us is getting in touch with nature. That's the only motherfucking thing.
I disagree. I think we're fucked. I think getting in nature is going to be good for the individual, but I think for the species, I have a feeling we're the last of the Mohicans.
I'm not trying to save everybody. Just me and my boy in the fucking woods. Just me and my
You guys
family.
will be fine.
Yeah.
I feel like the human race, like as this thing comes alive, I think we're greatly underestimating the impact that it's going to have.
We're not underestimating because you talk about it all the time and you know
I do.
everything about it. I learned more about what I'm preparing for in 10 years.
I definitely
You
don't. Definitely don't know everything about it. In
You
fact,
more-
my knowledge of it is pretty limited, and a lot of it is speculative and unfounded.
for the average so for the average person that's never going to challenge you, that still has a flip phone, and that part of it, you know way more, and what you're saying is very fucking believable.
What was
We
disturbing
are
to me
doomed.
was I had a conversation with Ray Kurzweil, who's one of like the big names in artificial intelligence. And he's all super rosy about the future of AI and that it's inevitable and that we're all going to do this. And I'm like, well, what if someone gets in control of this?
It is going to be somebody in control.
That's what scares the shit out of me, dude. And no one seems to have an adequate answer for that. And Elon is terrified of that too, which really makes me scared. If that fucking dude's scared of it, okay.
So that means that they know that we are building the type of technology that at some point we won't be able to control, is going to control us and take over us. It's inevitable that that's going to happen.
Or we merge with it, or we scale up our ability to control it as it gets implemented. So even though it's more intelligent than us, we can still control it.
But we always going to have a nutty professor.
Well, the thing is, if it becomes a living thing, right? So what they're doing right now is everything exists in an actual computer. There's nothing that exists in a physical form except these robots that they're using to like clean up kitchens and shit. Have you seen those yet?
No, I haven't.
It's disturbing.
The biggest part.
You talk to the robot, and the robot can like pick plates up and put them in the drying rack, and it talks to you. And I look at it, and I'm like, okay, that is just like a really crude, shitty. Like I compared it to the Model T. Like that's a Model T. And if you look at the exponential increase in technology, like look at what was the first year you got a phone? What year was that?
Me phone. It had to be probably. Probably like 82. 83.
Damn, you had an early one.
I was fronting like I was a drug dealer.
You had an 82?
Yeah, that was the
Wow.
thing. You had you get.
Did you have
bitches
the
off
briefcase? A briefcase for
I
him?
had the briefcase joint. Yeah.
I had one that was built into my car in '88, but then I couldn't afford that. I didn't get another phone
Nobody could. It
after
was about
that.
minutes. You couldn't afford that shit.
It was too expensive.
My shit didn't work. I just had it.
But I had a job back then too.
Right.
But then I got another one, I think in '94. I think it was 93. That's right. And it was a Motorola StarTAC.
That was the shit.
Rogan?
I remember when that was the coolest shit you could have.
That was only 30 years ago.
Right.
Okay, 30 years ago, from that to what you have today is insane. Insane.
The only thing, Joe, this is the only thing that's going to save humanity: battery life.
Yeah, but China has developed these nuclear-powered batteries. We were just talking about that. They can power a cell phone for 50 years. Yeah. I don't know if this is just theoretical or if they've
That's the
actually
sort of thing I
implemented
think. I was
it,
like,
but
the motherfucking battery has to die.
not necessarily. It's just a matter of what they use for the fuel. There's like what we're dealing with now is no different than what every civilization has always been dealing with. If you could go back to the 1700s before they had vaccines, before they had antibiotics and medication, and just show those people back then a cell phone, they would think you're a wizard.
Or a witch.
A witch.
A witch,
A
yeah.
warlock. A Satanist.
And if you called somebody and they answered, they would really
Yeah.
thought that you were the devil.
Insane. If you were talking to someone FaceTime from another place, that's normal shit now. Whatever the fuck that robot is, you take that robot that cleans kitchens and scale that bitch up 200 years from now, you got a sexy lady who's in lingerie,
Oh, come on,
who's
man. Come on,
cleaning
man.
your house and
Come
sucks
on,
your
man.
dick, and
Come
you
on.
never gonna mess with real ladies again. And then the human race goes extinct because no
So
one
the
wants to
human-
breed
wait,
anymore.
The human race
That's
is
how they're gonna do it.
Human race is going to go extinct when there's a female robot that can make a sandwich and suck a dick.
This is what I think.
That's what you think?
Yeah,
I
that's
like
what
the way
I
you
think.
think.
That's what I think.
But it's going to be another fucking robot hating on the bitch.
Nope.
She's sucking his
Nope.
dick, but she's not
They're
making
gonna
no
be
money
perfect.
with him.
The robots only want to please us, so we die off. The robots want to leave all the ladies barren and all the men just no jizz. They just suck them off all day, and then leave them ambitionless, childless, and then they die off.
The funny thing is, what you said is, all I'm thinking about is, I did a roast with Whitney Cummings, and they had a robot
fake- yeah,
of her,
the fake
and I
Whitney.
was thinking
Yes.
just now, who fucked Whitney's robot?
Somebody did.
Somebody did.
Somebody did. She probably let her boyfriend do it.
I did. Somebody fucked that robot. Shout out to her robot.
Whitney's the type of bitch that'll tell someone, stick your dick in that robot before me. I want to watch. Do it.
I didn't know she got down like that, but that sounds like
I don't know.
No,
I
sounds
can see. I'm guessing.
Yeah. She
But-
would be and be experimental too.
Yeah.
She'd be like this. Okay, let's shoot this.
Fuck my robot's
We
mouth.
could go revive. Yeah, she's a mom. I talked to her like 3 weeks ago. It's so cool seeing her,
It's wild, right?
being her, be a mom.
She's so smart. She's going to be a great mom. She's such an interesting person. You know?
And I asked her. I said, with the success that you've had and everything, you're doing well for yourself. You do well for other people. You help other people. I say, do you think? Because that's a tough question for successful women in this business. I said, do you feel like having that your baby boy completed you? And she said yes. And that's a tough thing because sometimes women are so career driven that part of them or that part of the experience of life, they don't really care about it or just say it's in passing. But she said that she does feel complete and makes her like a better person. That's good. And she just got a nice mom energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
And then she ran out of animals to buy. That's when white women
doesn't she have
about
a
to.
horse? She has a horse.
That's when white women buy horses.
She has rescue horses.
Yeah, rescue horses.
She,
When they start buying different animals, like animals that the average person don't have, like orangutans and shit like that, that's when they be like, "Yep, I'm about to have a baby."
She connected me with the people that run this wolf sanctuary. And I went up to the wolf sanctuary, and I thought I was going to like it, but I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all, man.
What do you think she thought you were going to enjoy about it?
I don't know. I mean, like they're helping these wolves and they're preserving these wolves and they take wolves off of ranches and capture them and keep them in this place. But man, it just bummed me out big time. The males have all been castrated. They've all been fixed. Man. Yeah, that bummed me out. And then they're all in these cages and they're getting stared at.
So they're not preserving the race. I mean, they're not preserving.
They let them out. They interact with them. You can interact with some, but it it overwhelmingly bummed me out because I don't like the idea of wild predators being trapped in cages. I
went to the zoo. I took my son to the zoo, and it was like one of the worst experiences I had.
Yeah.
It's just the excitement. It's just like how much we so selfish. The excitement of, like, it was one of the tigers came out of the cage, and everybody was like, oh, my God, yeah. They started clapping for the tiger. And I'm like, this motherfucker's used to walking like 50, 60 miles a day to try to kill some shit. Yeah. And this motherfucker's in 300 square feet, and we're clapping for it, and it just felt. The excitement that the kids had was one thing, but knowing what has to go down.
Yeah.
And then for the people, here's the people that got the toughest job. The tour people that speak on the animals and everything. They're like, and this is Simba. Simba's looking a little frustrated today. You know, the ones that got to make it feel like they're having a happy experience. Yeah. Because everybody been throwing shit at this motherfucker. Of course, you would be frustrated too, but it feels so wrong and so right at the same time.
Yeah.
Safari. I want to go on a safari.
That's real. That's the real thing. Safari's a different thing. The thing that bums me out is the primates. I went to the gym, or the zoo rather, in Denver. And I remember we had gotten there right when this, like, we turned around this monkey cage right when this monkey was just wailing. He just decided like he couldn't take it anymore, and he's in this cage and he's wailing.
I'm like, what year did they decide they couldn't take it anymore? Rather like he's wanting to get the fuck up out of here.
But I was on an edible.
Okay.
And I just was feeling this monkey's pain, the screaming. He was just screaming, no! Because there's this little ass cage as small as this room. And he's just running around grabbing branches. He's bored as fuck, man.
And now you add motherfuckers taking pictures of you all fucking day. I had my son, this is so fucked up, and I know I shouldn't have did it, but I rented a monkey. Right? We had a petting whole thing. I rented a monkey, and the monkey definitely had some shit going on, right? Because they gave the monkey. I feel so bad. Everybody was at the monkey, looking at the monkey, and all of a sudden I heard everybody say, "Ew, yuck." The monkey was eating a lollipop, jerking off. Yo, Joe, I swear, in my church, I swear on my son's life, everybody was like, where the fuck you get this monkey from?
That's
right?
hilarious.
But now it's like, you know the phrase, had his trainer, monkey see, monkey do. So now I'm just thinking, the trainer just sits around this monkey, eating lollipops, jerking off. And the monkey was looking like, I wish the fuck somebody would say shit, put the cover back on, leave me the fuck alone. Like, and the monkey was looking people like directly in the eyes, Joe. It wasn't like the monkey discovered it.
Yeah.
It was like this monkey's like, this is how we get the fuck off work early.
Did you ever see that video of the dude who's like sitting there and a monkey hops in his lap, and then he's like trying to be cool with this monkey, and the monkey just decides to scalp him? Just bites his head and takes a giant chunk of his scalp off. Have you ever seen that?
I don't really go for those.
You want to see it?
I really don't.
You don't want to see it?
I'm not built for that. I don't like scary movies.
I don't want amazing willpower.
I don't want to do it.
See it. I'd be like, what? Show me that.
I don't want. That's the difference. You're very into that. That's like that Nature Metals, one of those websites where
Nature's Metal. Yeah.
It's like, I can't handle that shit.
But man, like, taking one of those creatures and forcing it to live in captivity is torture.
And it has to be a point where they know it's going to be the breaking point.
Yeah, that monkey, when I turned the corner, like right when I was going towards the cages, I just watched him just jump on the cage and just like, ah!
And you just kept on. You take pictures?
No, man, I got bummed out. I got really bummed out.
That's got to be.
That might have been the last. No, I definitely went to the zoo after that.
And I know when they go, I wonder, but most of those monkeys, they get them from when they were babies, right?
Yep. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's still torture. It's still torture.
You think that monkey?
Yeah, I think
you think that monkey could like, if you was like, fuck it, we're leaving, and you think and you just took him to the jungle, that he could?
No, he's fucked.
He'd get fucked up, right?
He'd get fucked up. Yeah, he wouldn't be a part of a troop.
Why? Because he wouldn't know how to fight or none
Probably
of that
wouldn't
shit,
be
right?
socialized. He wouldn't know the
Waiting for
the
feeding
social
time and shit,
dynamics.
knowing that's every man for himself, every monkey for himself.
He would have no idea. He would be fucked. They'd probably kill him. It's when I was in Costa Rica, I saw a monkey. There's monkeys everywhere, and one monkey was missing a foot. Like one of his hands was gone.
Right.
And I said to the dude, I go, "What happened to him? Do you think?" And he's like, "Oh, they bite each other's hands off all the time."
It's right, matter of
I was
fact.
like, "What?
Yeah.
They bite each other's hands off."
For what? Getting in? They're primitive. They're
Yeah.
monkeys, Joe. What the fuck
I
you want
know,
them to do?
but they're also resort monkeys, so they come around and try to get Oreos from you.
Those
and
are thieves.
candy bars.
Yeah.
But they want that from you, and people give it to them. And so you could watch them. They'll take an Oreo and open it up and eat the white stuff.
They're used to it.
And you're like, what do you know how to do that? Like, they know how to do that.
And that's the only thing they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
And then if they go to the regular woods and they'd be like, get your bitch ass Oreo cooking, eating ass motherfucker out of here. They could tell, you could tell a difference between a monkey that grew up on grabbing his food than a motherfucker that's stealing Oreos.
Yeah.
It's in their eyes, I'm sure of it.
Well, monkeys can get to populations that are very big, and then they get super aggressive, and then you got real problems. You got real problems. That happens in India. Like there was one monkey there, a dog, I guess, had killed one monkey, and so because of that, they just decided to start killing dogs.
I remember that, and that was fun. That felt like a movie. There was like, I remember that it was like monkeys from everywhere, just like any dog. Go in your house,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be a problem.
Bro, they were throwing dogs off roofs. They were dragging
The monkeys
little
were,
dogs.
and it looked like
Yeah.
they knew, like, yo,
Yeah.
we gonna get these motherfuckers.
Oh, no, they did know. They did know. 2 killer monkeys captured in India after revenge massacre of 250 dogs. Bro,
Where my dogs at?
that is so crazy. 250. They're fucking smart and they're fucking dangerous. And the thing is, like, they'll steal your baby, man. They'll steal kids. They're fucking
They're
creeps.
not stealing my baby.
Not yours, but
Yeah.
if you're not paying attention, they're creeps.
Do they give you? They have to give you a warning, like these are the baby snatching. I mean, it's like here's the baby snatching monkeys. Here's the Oreo eating monkeys, and here are just the monkeys. With all the mental issues.
Did you ever see the footage of Thailand when they were like rampaging through the streets because all the tourists were gone because it was COVID?
No.
You ever see that? It's insane.
The monkeys just took up. They took.
Because they were so used to the tourists.
Right.
So they're so used to the tourists feeding them. Look at all these monkeys.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about.
How
Yeah,
crazy is
goddamn.
that? How crazy is that? I mean, there's so many of them, man. They're everywhere. So if you're around them, man, you're in danger. Like,
Yeah,
if you
they
have
look-
food, you're fucked. They will 100% take your food. And if you try to fight them, they'll pull your fucking face off.
They look like the riots.
Bro, there's so many of them.
That looks
How
very.
many? What is the number of monkeys were in that? Does it
The
say?
video says thousands. I don't know.
God. Bro, you gotta
Monkey
start
see, monkey do.
shooting monkeys.
I'm not
Somebody
gonna-
needs to go out there with a shotgun and
I'm
start
not
taking
going
care of
anywhere
business.
where wildlife other than the woods. I deal with snakes and shit like that.
Bro, ancient Thai city is overrun with monkeys. Look, as long as they stay cool. But I guess you just have to feed them to keep them cool.
There's not going to be enough food.
I guess if they, like,
He put a tiger head in his shop to scare him away.
no, did he really? I got a tiger's head as well. That's hilarious. Like, he doesn't know that monkey knows that that thing doesn't move.
It's going to be one monkey to go touch him like, no, motherfucker, get the fuck up
this
out of here.
bullshit, man. Look, they're just hanging. Look at the balls on that monkey, too. Increasingly aggressive. Street brawls. Whoa.
World
rival
star.
macaque gangs.
World star.
Bro, they have rival gangs of monkeys. That's crazy. It affects their health when they eat human food. Yeah, they fucking feel better. The more energy they have, yeah. If they eat human food, it's probably better.
I watched that and I say, God bless America.
If you
Joe.
could give monkeys cheeseburgers, they'd be pumped. If you like have
But then you have a monkey like
In-N-Out.
this. I was going to say double. Like, no, it'll be monkeys come up here. Oh, man, that's how people from different cities come. They're like, this is my first In-N-Out burger. That's what I would be.
Here's the thing about those monkeys in Thailand. Was that always like that? Like, when did they get overrun by monkeys? Like, did they have those amount of monkeys 20 years ago? You know what I'm saying?
I think would probably be during the pandemic when it got real crazy.
Well, I think that got real crazy where they wanted the gangs and they started because there's no more food because the tourists weren't there.
They was separating which one, east side, west side, monkey.
But my thought was were there that many of them in cities 20 years ago, or is that a recent thing? Is that a thing where they're figuring it out and then their population is going to get bigger and bigger
Joe,
and bigger?
they're getting prepared for AI. They know it's coming.
I don't think they are.
They're getting prepared for AI. They know that once they create the first monkey created through artificial intelligence, that all of them they're going to be out of business. They're preparing for it the same way, but they're just not talking about it, Joe. And that's the only thing that separates them from us is the ability to communicate.
There's speculation more recently that they're
this monkey's thinking the same shit that you're
missing.
Monkeys are going missing. They're seeing less numbers in the streets. And they're speculating.
They're leaving Hollywood. They're leaving Hollywood.
Traffickers have snuggled them out of the country.
They're leaving, Joe.
I think I accidentally said snuggled them. I meant smuggled them. That makes sense.
They're leaving Hollywood. They're going somewhere else where it feels safer and it's easier.
Well,
same thing with me, Joe.
A lot of them, they go to private zoos, we found out, in the Middle East.
Everybody can't afford a private zoo.
A lot of ballers can, though, and that's like a thing, to have a private zoo and to have your own. If you're some dude and you're living in some.
So you rescuing these monkeys, and then you're putting them in a private zoo to do what? What is your life goal after that?
People stare at those monkeys at their private zoo. That's what I think. I think there's insanely wealthy people that have private zoos. I think it's a normal thing. Thousands of monkeys invade Thai City, driving out tourists and businesses. Oh, this is recently.
Yeah, so it's this is back to what it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It looks like they're invading that
city. They're coming back.
And it says some investors might take their money out until they address the issue.
Yeah. It's about to be some poison. They're about to poison the shit out the monkeys.
Well,
3,500 monkeys.
They're going to do some lace Oreos. They're about to kill all of them.
They're going to have to do something like that. Yeah.
They about to kill. They're going to give them COVID. The monkeys is dead.
They're probably going to give them some poison.
Yep.
I think at a certain point you kind of have to control the population, as sick as that sounds.
They're going to wipe.
That's crazy.
What they're going to do?
Just let them climb on people.
They're going to take about 1,000 of them, right? Put them away. Or just have them somewhere when they want to give them to breed. This sounds crazy.
I think they're just going to poison a fuckload of them. I think
they
you're right
can't
the first
poison
time.
all.
Why not?
I'm right the second time, Joe. Can't kill them all, Joe.
You don't have to kill them all.
Then what are you going to do
There's
about
so many of them. You just give it a certain amount of food. And the most aggressive ones are the ones that are going to get the food first. And so that way you get rid of the most douchey of all the douchey monkeys.
Oh, then you say, okay, that makes sense. My guess would get about 4,000 of them, round them up, and then they give them some poison, and the other one is just, it's out. They're out. They start back up.
Either one can work, but I think that rounding them up, you could probably sell them. They're probably worth a lot of money. I think there's a lot more of those private zoos than we like to think there are.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody that has a private zoo. I don't even know anybody that would know about a private zoo.
You don't know any oil dudes either. There's probably some oil dudes out there that get a private zoo.
That's the oil dude.
You got 1,000 Ferraris in a private zoo.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, you got a tiger.
Dubai.
You got a fucking bunch of monkeys.
And you got your own zoo.
We got these right from Thailand.
It's not enough of those old dudes to keep the species alive. So back to my situation. Lock up 3,000
alive.
Lock up 3,000 of the monkeys and then poison the rest of them, and then you can control. It's the new Bob Barker. Help control the pet population. Have your monkeys spayed or neutered.
Well,
we can change the world.
I think you just got to control the populations. And unfortunately, the only way to control the populations is either give them birth control, which is a problem, right? That's weird anyway.
In the streets. Yeah,
how's that going to work? Or you have to kill them. So, or you sell them to rich dudes who have their own.
They've been there since the 13th century.
Oh, wow.
That's a bad idea, Joe. Just get rid of them.
How many did they have back then? Was it those kind of numbers?
The numbers have gone up and down. I was just reading through a tourist thing about people going to the city. Remember the last train leaves at 1806, so you don't want to get stuck there.
Oh, my God.
Stuck by the monkeys? Yeah.
Bro, imagine if you get stuck by the monkeys and you got a candy bar and they just fuck you up.
Yeah, so
you try to eat a candy bar in front of those monkeys, they will fuck you up.
I think both of our theories just been shitted on.
Yeah, both
1,300.
1,300.
It's not going to be enough.
But then again, like, how old is that city? I think whenever they find groups of people, they probably realize they're cute and people will give them food if they have any extra.
Only tourists. Then if the tourists not going to come, then they go back to their normal wildness.
Yeah.
Tourists are the only thing that's probably kept them cool.
I wonder if wolves will ever get to the point again where they become dogs again. Like, the reason why wolves became dogs is because people were having campfires and the wolves would come around, they'd feed them, and those are the ones that stayed closed. Their ears got floppier, and then they started breeding them, and then they became dogs over thousands of years. I wonder if we'll fuck things up so hardcore that wolves would be so everywhere again, the real wolves would be everywhere again, and we'll start doing dogs again from scratch.
Which species would be first? I know a Chihuahua, my punk ass
German
dog
Shepherd.
couldn't have. Yeah, well, definitely
Shepherd.
closest one.
Huskies, German Shepherds.
Not a Frenchie.
They probably looked like that. They probably looked like just many. Because you got to think a dog or even a wolf. How long do they live? Like, how long does a wolf live in the wild? Is it like a dog, or like an old one is like 15, 16 years old? How long does a wolf
Life
live?
expectancy
Ooh.
of a wolf.
Captivity is up to 20, and it says the wild is no longer than 10 years usually.
Wow, up to 20 in captivity. So it's basically like a dog, like up to 20, like dogs that live 20 years. So let's imagine how many generations you can get just in the course of one person's life. You know, you breed when the wolf pup is a year and a half or 2 years old, you breed them. They breed again. You keep selecting for the ones that are the most docile, the most obedient, floppy ears, shorter snout, and you just keep doing that over and over again. Within a couple of 100 years, you have a totally different animal. Because you're dealing with so many generations.
So what you're
and they
saying,
did it for thousands
in over
of
hundreds
years.
of years. So we're gonna have robotic motherfuckers raising these wolf dogs.
Or
That's your prediction.
no. One of many things can happen. One thing can happen is natural disaster. Natural disaster, like a big one, like Yellowstone blowing up. Like, Yellowstone is a super volcano, and if it blows up, it's like a continent killer. It's going to fuck up the whole continent.
Does it have the possibility of
100%. 100%. It goes every 600,000 to 800,000 years. And I think the last time it went was 600,000 years ago.
Oh shit! I was preparing for this total eclipse. Now the fucking
Like, total eclipse is nothing.
that's April.
April 8th.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. That'll be interesting.
Are you going to go watch it? I'm gonna be in Ohio when
It's
it
going
happens.
right here. It's traveling right
But they
above
say
here.
Ohio is the best place to see it. Is that true?
Dave probably told you that.
No. I think Bert Kreischer told me because he's going to be.
Bert Kreischer is not necessarily Wikipedia.
Right.
I don't.
Why you hating, man? God damn, what's wrong with you today? Fuck Whitney and her baby. Fuck Dave Attell. Fucking Bert Kreischer know shit about anything galactic. What the fuck is going? It's a new day, Joe.
Yeah.
So this is the path.
Yellow Springs is
Yellow
a
Springs,
great
right,
spot.
right in the center.
Just as good as here.
So you question?
Just as good as here, though.
Yeah, it's the same path.
Look, we're in Austin. It goes right through us.
Yeah, but Jamie, I like the idea of that me being right. I was right.
You
right?
are, yeah, we're definitely right. But I mean, it literally passes right through us.
There you go, Dayton.
So where are we, Jamie? Go to where we are.
And this happens every 7 years?
Right
I
on
feel
the
like I've
edge
been to
there.
one before.
So
We'll see. We'll get a very, 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 very good view of it, but you need to be about 50 miles
What
to
time,
the west
Jamie?
to get I don't know. I think it's 1 o'clock. It says, yeah.
AM, of course.
No,
right?
PM. You wouldn't. It wouldn't be a sunny.
Bro, there's got to be some places you can go where you don't have to make a big deal out of it.
I think you can look through if you have a Tesla with the right roof, you can look through that
Oh, yeah?
safely because it's got all the protection on it.
Oh, that's
That's
outrageous.
what I read.
Well, Roka's making glasses. They're making glasses.
Just
that they sent
specific
me.
for this?
Yeah, just specific.
So you
for
can't
this.
look at it for not any period
It's
of time?
not good to look at it at all. I remember when it happened when I was a kid in Ohio. I don't know. And I would have been 95 or something. It was a weird day. But it gets really strangely dark outside for a little bit. You want to look at it, obviously, because you're attracted to it. But
Right.
Yeah.
it will fuck up your eyes just like staring at a laser.
Okay.
It could get bad if you look at it for a long time.
I don't think I'm going to look at it that long. Not long enough for it to go bad.
I mean, it is interesting, but in the greater scheme of the universe, is it that interesting? All it is a alignment of stars.
But it's something that makes it interesting in that it doesn't happen but every 10 years.
That's true. Jamie, I'm going to send you something because this is interesting.
Do you remember when Trump looked at the eclipse?
Oh yeah, you look right at it, right?
Yeah.
His blink,
Funny picture.
squinting his eyes is fucking hilarious. And those are the guys that stormed.
Yeah, he's so ridiculous. Hold on. You gotta find this fucking thing.
Joe, you asked me time and time again about my special. You didn't even watch it.
Nope. I don't watch anything. I'm too busy right now. And plus, I don't even know if I got a link. Someone send me a link? You'd have to, like, send me a link for me to watch it.
It's streaming on Netflix, Joe.
Oh, when did it start?
February 27th. Thank you for
I didn't know.
February. It's streaming. It's actually streaming.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, you need an advance link.
No.
You need
in advance of...
A link. You need it before everybody gets to see it.
I didn't
right?
know it was out.
That's
why
the
I
only
said a
way
link.
you will watch it if you had a private link with codes and everything, Joe.
That's how I like to watch things.
So just like...
I like to feel special.
just like putting the name of it in Netflix is... You don't do that, right, Joe?
Well, I don't do that
So you're
anymore.
preparing for artificial
don't-
intelligence of a special release?
Yeah, that's a better way to do it.
All right. Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yep. It came out February 27th, man. And it did well. People like it. The streets like it.
The streets.
Yep. The creeks and the streets like it.
I'm going to send you this, Jamie, because this is just a very strange thing that happened at the club the other night that almost doesn't make sense. So we were in the green room.
I feel like I want to send you
And
the link for my special now.
Casey Rocket was on stage in the small room, and Tony Hinchcliffe was on stage in the big room.
Fuck Tony
Now,
Hinchcliffe.
the room, the shows had been going on for hours.
Yeah.
In the small room, it was the open mic. So there might have been 20 people on before. And in the big room, it started at a different time, and this was 45 minutes into the show. So 3 comedians had gone up. But somehow or another, their time synced perfectly within the
For both
second.
rooms?
So as the timer was going off, Bob Biggerstaff, he's the first person to notice it, and he pointed it out to us. So, like, go back. The computer rebelled. Yeah. Really? Anyway.
So you had an eclipse of your rooms?
Yeah, it's like an eclipse. This is like an eclipse. Like, the odds of this happening are so small. One show started at 10 p.m. or 8 p.m. The other show started earlier than that and had like an open mic night. So that had like 10 people had been up before. And Casey Rocket is on stage. He's at 5 minutes and 24 seconds. And Tony's on stage in the other room, 5 minutes and 24 seconds. And we were like, this is crazy. Like, what are the odds of this happening?
Not only it happened, like who would even notice that it happened?
Bob did. If he didn't notice it, it might have been lost in time.
Yeah, Tony fucking did. His fans are. These motherfuckers, boy. And this is what
They're ruthless.
Going back to like not reading the comments. I think the last time I did Kill Tony, it was probably like 3 or 4 years ago, right? I'll be having a good comment day, Joe.
Oh, good day.
Yeah, hey, I love you. Then next thing, we'll ask him if he's going to walk out on Kill Tony's podcast again.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What do you do?
Gotta let that one go.
I want to go back.
Well, then go back.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Boy, the power
Go
of
back,
the-
but be
the
ready.
Wait a minute. First of
ready.
all, I was ready.
But you still walked
Altered
off.
video. That's what you believe, Joe?
Did you not walk off?
You didn't know what the real story? That's what you believe?
I don't know what
That's
happened.
all propaganda.
I had completely forgotten about it.
I'll tell
until
you what
just
happened.
brought it up. Tell
I
me.
was here, first of all.
Okay.
I did Tony's show during the pandemic
Right.
when he couldn't get guests.
Right.
I risked my fucking life
Risk your life.
for him
Right.
and these punk-ass motherfuckers.
Yes.
Good show. Black Comic goes up. I'm up. I've been there 2.5 hours. They just giving me Tito's and Tito's and Tito's.
They're forcing you to drink.
Whatever, I know that I consume Tito's and Tito's.
Right.
Then I had a sushi date. You know the sushi spot I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The one the private joint. Mm-hmm. It looks like a speakeasy. Mm-hmm. 6 people. I had a reservation for that. So I'm doing this show. I told them I'm going to the bathroom because I was going to go eat. And they made it look like I ran off the show, Joe.
Really?
You went for that bullshit edit. I had been on the
You
show
should
for 2
sue.
It's not a bad idea. But I like Tony. I would like just for fucking pain and suffering.
Just take him
But
to
no,
court.
and it's petty, and I don't really give a fuck.
Then go back.
But it's yeah, I would love to. As soon as my schedule allows it, I'll go back. Why are you looking at me like I got a problem with going back?
No, I don't.
All right, okay, wait a minute. Bathroom. That is not a comedian. Okay, go rewind it. Now, this is what they did, Joe. They showed me talking to the comedian. Then look. All right, watch this. Is that me running off from a comedian? That's like, I'll be right back. Going to the bathroom. Look. Keep following it. Walks off.
To the bathroom.
To the bathroom.
Right.
But what they showed, Jamie, I'm glad we get to fucking put this out there. Can you show the edit they did?
I don't know. Who made the edit?
Just put Donnell walks off. Donnell walks off and the edit. Now watch what they do in the fucking edit. Donnell walks off.
How many times have you watched this?
Only 4,000.
Why have you?
Not 4,000.
Why have you really spent?
Reaction to it.
I haven't spent no time. I just remember it. This is the first time I actually saw the original.
They faked,
doctored it up.
They doctored it
the
up.
The white man.
That seems.
I'm making it race. The white man.
I don't feel like they should have done that.
They shouldn't have done it. But your argument is about that. You first thing, and it worked on you because you said, "Yeah, that time you walked out."
Can I call Tony right now?
Yeah, just and the way you looked at me, was like, "What you gonna do about it?"
Call Tony Hinchcliffe. Hold, please.
Yeah, did you got that? I know it's got to come up.
The one I found that doesn't seem. You're not even in the video yet. So
yeah, this is. Yeah, tell him I'm still sensitive about it. And I took him to eat fried chicken.
Tony Hinchcliffe?
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, dude, I'm here. You're on the podcast right now. I'm here with Donnell Rawlings.
And I'm still beefing, motherfucker. Tell him the real story. Tell him the real story.
Did you edit
you doctored it out.
the show to make it look like Donnell was upset and that a man clowned him and he walked off the stage?
A black man. Did you edit it? First off,
nothing
Tony
was edited.
Tony, you fucking full of shit,
Nothing
man.
was edited? So, Tony, what you see is actually the true events that took place?
100%, and he never, I mean, it's absolutely not even in question.
Is Donnell trying to pull a PR move here?
This is the reason why black people
whatever
have
he's
issues.
doing, it's very shady, and he's trying to rewrite history.
Oh, all right, Jamie. For me, for the sake of God, now he can't find it.
This is outrageous,
now
Tony.
He can't find it.
I don't know what to think.
He can't find it.
We have pictures of him outside of a firehouse after the moment. He was saying hi to people at the fire department. They were like fans of his, and he went and hung out with them. He had nothing to do. He had nowhere to go.
Oh,
he walked off the show.
Lord.
This is getting worse.
I can't believe
I can't believe
man.
you left out details only to use them as a weapon when confronted by propaganda. Kudos to you, sir, for holding your cards.
No fucking kudos. Tony supports black on black crime. He pitted two black guys against each other.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you said that you went to the bathroom and none of that stuff happened. They edited it.
I went to the bathroom.
He said that he was going to the bathroom, but he walked all the way out the front door.
Right, to the sushi spot, son. I left for sushi.
He said he left for sushi.
Jamie, please.
His reservations were much later than when he left.
All right, now watch this. Is this it?
Breaking news. Donnell Rawlings walks off.
Now watch the edit.
Mom and Dad G's on the same fucking stage.
If you don't get the fuck out of here, where'd you get those Jordans?
I've invited Donnell back on. I mean, he's
hold on a second. We're watching the video of it right now.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, I got something funny. You look like Idris Elba fucked a blowfish.
This nigga shop for tank tops in Victoria's Secret.
The Tito's kicking in right
You
now.
probably want to suck him, you little. He's the most successful crack baby.
Shit, son.
I was over there thinking of jokes for this moment.
I know what he wanted to do. Oh yeah, if I fucking roast Donnell.
No, man.
No.
Tito's.
I'm about to leave right now because.
No, you're not. Come on, Donnell.
No, I'm going to leave.
Look, I want to go.
Lopez.
Wrap it up.
Thank you, Tony.
Still in the candles? This is really happening.
Yeah.
Tony, thank you very much. Thank you. I see the truth now. I see the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whew. Donnell.
Tony's a liar.
That was shameful.
I had to go to the bathroom.
I get it.
I had to go to the bathroom.
I
What am I
get
supposed to do? Sit there, act like I'm in the woods?
Yeah, it's just you came to a gunfight with a rubber sword.
I didn't come to a gunfight. I wasn't there for that, Joe.
I know. You were
First
there to
off,
host. You didn't know you were going to get attacked ruthlessly.
That's what
While
they
you were
said.
drunk.
Yes.
Too drunk to defend yourself.
Too drunk. That was
Right?
They're very abusive
Very abusive.
to our friendship, and I called Tony
To
a
everything.
friend.
I don't think you realized it was going to happen, though, to be honest. Like,
I
no one
didn't.
plans anything on Kill
And
Tony.
this is what I'm saying, black on black crime. I was giving this black African-American comedian some good advice on comedy, and then he just started shooting me. Fop, 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 fop. And I wasn't ready for that. I was like, "This, how could you do that to me?" And then all the white people started laughing. Ah, look at the black on black crime. We don't got to do anything. They're killing themselves. Fop, 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 fop. R.I.P. George Floyd.
That's
all
a
of that.
very interesting way to put it.
That's exactly what my people saw, Joe. And it was all, and Tony and his crew of henchmen set it up.
Interesting.
Henchman.
The
Henchman.
Hinchcliffe.
Yes. And he lied. Just right now. People are going to believe that. He just lied.
It seems like he
And we only
wasn't
wanted the
lying,
truth.
though, because we watched the video.
I don't know what you saw, Joe.
What did you see?
I saw something totally different. I saw a guy that had to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
That's what.
Okay, we settled it.
We're in the world of editing. I had to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, and then I went to the
Got it.
bathroom, and then I did sushi.
I really don't
It's
care.
a new day.
I'm
going
cool.
to let it go.
Yeah, let's let it go. Let's let it go.
Didn't go well. Expected it to go. But I appreciate the fact checking, and I appreciate the research of the doctored clip you had, Jamie. Thank you.
It is kind of rude, Jamie, that you did that to Donnell.
I thought that's the one he wanted me to find.
I mean, you could have put up any clip, but you chose to go with the CGI AI doctored Tony Hinchcliffe henchman version.
Yep. That's it. But long as like
How you
like
done? How many fucking times have you done Kill Tony?
3 times.
That's it?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I did it in L.A. Maybe 2. I did it in L.A. I had a lot of fun. David Lucas was on that one. We had a good time. I caught a standing ovation on that joint.
Nice.
I did that one, then I did the one here.
When
And I did-
David Lucas and Tony tear each other apart, it's the hardest I ever laughed.
Oh, yeah?
David goes after Tony so hard, and Tony goes after David. They just go, and they're both laughing really hard at each other, getting clowned.
But when,
It's
when,
really
when
fun.
and then when that man David went at it, it was an example of joning because everybody was like, "Oh, you didn't let him talk." I'm like, the way when I came up with roasting, whatever you call it, you don't let nobody talk.
Right.
You just go into that person, you run out of breath or run out of jokes. It wasn't like, and now it's your turn. You get 3 seconds. So,
Right. It's
but
not
I'm not
slap
a big
fighting.
fan of it. I don't like roast. I might have been invited to or agreed to do 3 roasts in my entire career. I think they're too personal.
Yeah.
I think it's funny to some people, but I think it's just too personal. It's too easy just to be disrespectful. Oh, it's just a joke. You meant
Right.
that shit, and it hurts.
Yeah. It's a license to be mean.
Yeah, and I don't like it. I did Whitney's. Whitney called me. I said, I don't like the roast. Right? I don't do that thing. And then she told me how much I was getting paid. I said, so I need to be there at 5. Right? We coming off the pandemic. Wasn't nobody making money. I did it with her.
Isn't it wild they did it on OnlyFans? Like, OnlyFans has had comedy specials.
I know, but it was dope. I really saw her as a producer doing that and being able to put people together, and she was really, really serious about making it look good, get the right people involved. It was fun. I had a good time.
She's great at all kinds of stuff. She's always juggling things. I remember I was talking to her. She was in the middle of writing a script, right? And she's like, I'm going to put the script aside for a bit because I'm doing this documentary on violence. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. And did I tell you I'm having a baby next week?
Oh, and have a baby. I'm 9 months pregnant, apparently.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Picture that. Who would have known?
She's a maniac.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun to work with. I did it with her. Did Bert Kreischer, Jim Norton. It was some funny guys. And we had to roast without having to be too mean.
That's cool.
It was cool. I had a good time. But I mean, if you ever, I'll send you the link for my special. You can check out.
I'll watch it. I'll
You're
just
not
watch it
gonna
on
watch
Netflix.
It.
I will.
You're not going to watch it.
There's a few that I need to watch. I still haven't watched Shane's. I didn't watch Dave's last one. I don't watch too much stand-up other than live. I try to balance the amount of entertainment I get in general.
I know. I didn't really expect you to watch it.
I will watch it.
No,
Jesus
but you every
Christ,
time.
I'm
No,
gonna watch it.
you don't have to watch it, Joe.
I feel like I have to watch it.
You
now.
don't have to watch it,
Jamie,
Joe.
don't feel like I have to watch it?
I'm watching it right now.
Jamie's watching it right now.
I like the intro. Out of
Respect.
everything, the thing I like the
Respect,
most,
Jamie.
the intro.
Yeah.
It's good. You got to
Nice.
watch it.
I'll watch it. I will
But
watch
you're
it.
not. You don't have to. But watch it because you were like, when is the
Yeah,
special coming out?
Probably watch it.
All right, it was fun.
Okay.
But the thing is, one thing about a special, and you've done a lot of them. The special thing about them is like, all right, what's next? It forces you to have to start over.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people don't understand the pressure, I feel, of a special because people always say, well, this is what people say. It happened to me last week. I did a show. Somebody said, I liked the show I just saw more than I liked the special. I don't know if people understand. The funniest you're probably going to see a comedian is right before he shoots his special and right after the special.
Also, just live is always funnier.
Live is always funnier.
It's way funnier. I always say that if you see a really good special is like 60 to maybe 70% as funny as it is if you were in the place.
Exactly.
While it's happening. Probably like 60.
And that's the hardest.
Yeah.
The hardest thing to capture is that feeling like
you can't capture it.
With this special for me, first time I was telling you earlier, first time I did it, he canned it because of the COVID stuff. The second time, we were in Napa Valley. We were doing some shows there. And, Chappelle records all of his shows. Mm-hmm. Probably you do the same thing. So he asked the producer, Ricky Hughes, he said, how many cameras do we have here today? She said, we got 5. He looks at me and says, do you want to shoot your special? I'm like, when? He said, tomorrow. I'm like, who the fuck says?
Right.
But I got excited because I was like, I like the idea of it not being a spectacle.
Right.
I like the idea of nobody knowing about it.
Right.
It was only 3 people that knew we were going to go for it.
Right.
Everything else was like a regular show. I was like, oh, you know what? This would be so dope. No pressure.
Yeah.
Shot it. Killed it, Joe. I was doing a regular thing. I wasn't thinking about special, just regular show. Killed it. I'm like, oh, shit. I called Robbie Pro. I'm like, yo, we got the special. He like, let me see it. You've been saying that, right? 3 weeks later, Dave calls me again. I want to shoot the special over. I'm like, why? He said, I didn't like the production. I'm like, motherfucker, you're the producer. He was like, yeah, but it was really small thing. He was like, the lighting, and then it was people walking past, doing the show. And I was like, well, you remember Live at Sunset Strip, Richard Pryor, one of the funniest lines you remember when he was like, look, white people left. They came back, their seats gone. It was in the moment. It was live. It felt live. That's what I thought, if that felt live. He was like, Donnell, we'll put it out, but I'm telling you, if we're going to do it, we scratched the second one. Cut to the third one, and I think out of all the criticism and everything he said leading up to and his reasons why he wanted to do it again, I think that I caught it. And people's like, do you think that was your best? In that moment, that night, it was the best I could be that night.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll do shit where you say, I'm not doing that joke before. You've performed these jokes better, but can you capture it in that moment, in that night? And I think I caught a good vibe.
Beautiful. Donnell, I love you.
You're not going to watch it.
That's
not Donnell.
I love you. I have to take a leak, and we got to end this. We got to wrap this up.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Tell everybody the name of it.
It's A New Day on Netflix.
There it is.
It's A New Day.
That's another sharp suit.
I got 2 suits for 2 different situations.
The yellow in the pocket. I like it. What's the button say?
DR. It's my logo.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh,
proud of that. Finally got it done.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. All right. Bye, everybody.